This is crazy, man. Like what just happened here? Like yo, it was how we at an 84 Metacritic. Yo, how iPhone 15 Pro Max gonna be the best way to play Starfield? Oh man. Oh shit.
60 frame,
Oh,
60
shit.
frame with ray tracing and everything.
That shit's better than my HD 3050. Oh man. Oh man. iPhone putting my gaming laptop to shame.
It's putting in that work. That was a kid say.
Oh shit! Hey, Craig, I think we just found out 52 CUs. Oh,
I think they're supposed to be. I think they're in my ship on Starfield. I got something I'm supposed to take somewhere. I think it's the 52 CUs. You know, so gonna find out if it is or not at the end, right?
Yeah, man. Like, oh man, 84 Metacritic. What happened? Yo, hey,
nothing.
J-Dog,
I mean,
J-Dog, what happened? What happened, J-Dog? This was game of the Jan. People said, yo, people sold their PS5s for this. That's what I was told. Oh, facts. Man. Y'all sold y'all PS5 for this? Oh, man. Hold up.
All I can say is shit looking bad for Team Green.
Like, oh, man, 84 Metacritic. Hey, yo, this was not supposed to happen. I don't know. I was told this was game of the gen.
Well, Fox News says it's fair and balanced, and everybody knows it's not. So,
but I was told this thing was doing things that's gonna change the landscape of gaming. Like this will, oh man,
it's fake. Yeah, it's got fake HDR.
Oh shit, 84.
Big comeback.
84.
It doesn't support Dolby Vision like at all. That's why it looks washed out. So shout out to Gaming Tech, the YouTuber that does all the television reviews. He actually worked his butt off and found a workaround for at least us with LG TVs. I don't know what it's like for people with Samsungs and even some, Bravias and stuff like that. So TCLs. So but yeah, I mean that's the first thing I noticed. Like this looks washed out. But then it lets you take pictures in HDR, and it's like, oh, well, this looks real good with HDR, but then you can't use it. Then you have to go in and turn stuff off on your TV. It was just weird. So, but I finally got a decent picture.
I'm just saying, man. They thrashed my homegirl Alloy because she got an 88.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
They talked about Returnal. Listen. Every single Sony first party game scored higher than this game. God damn, that's bad.
She was oh man, Allo was bad. Hey, yo, Allo was overshadowed, bro. She was overshadowed. Like she was forgotten, bro. Ain't nobody gonna remember no 88. Oh man. Oh no.
I mean, it's not like at 80. It's like out at 84. It's not like it's bad, but it's trending down. It's going in a way that you don't want to go. If you pay attention to Metacritic and all that kind of stuff. I just think the problem is Metacritic. So
you heard what Forbes said,
bro.
Forbes said what they tried to do is give all the pro Xbox sites a chance first to review the game and post high scores, so they'll have like some high morale going up before everybody else got theirs and pulled it on down.
Yeah, they front loaded it. Yeah, they front loaded the review. That's exactly what. Yeah,
the crazy part is I said that. Let me look for the tweet. I said that same thing that Microsoft found a way to manipulate Metacritic.
The system.
Yeah, they found a way to manipulate the system by front loading the advanced review codes to websites where they feel has the highest chance of scoring the best, and then delaying the review codes to those that they think is going to critique the harshest. So that way, by the time that's what I say. By the time the embargo comes, all the high scores come first, and then you get the 88, 87, or whatever the highest score is. But by the time you get to the 84, which it is now, most people would have moved on already because no one's really talking about Metacritic. So Microsoft found a way to manipulate the system. They still give review codes to everybody.
Yeah.
They just timing it so that way they can manipulate like the first week of score. Because then after a while, by the time the rest finally reviews the game, it would have been moved down already.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here you go.
My niece, she's in marketing, and she said that's what she had heard, that they were going to have like a soft marketing launch and then give it to everybody, but she wasn't like that's what they had been talking about in the marketing world. What Microsoft was going to do. That's just what they're going to do from now on. Front load everything and then put it out.
Yeah. So this is what I wrote. I wrote Microsoft is slick and created possibly a new trend. They purposely manipulate Metacritic and is genius. They send out review codes early to those they think would give the highest reviews and delay the ones they think would review the harshest. By the time the harshest reviews come in and drops the score, people would have moved on from the Metacritic combo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now they're talking about Open Critic. I've never seen anything like it before. It just keeps they keep, instead of just accepting it for what it is, like your video, your uploads you did, Porter Rock, was really good. Just accepting it for what it is. They're still trying to push a narrative that it's something that's not. I've played it. It's fine. I shout out to Hard 8. Hard 8 called it a solid 7. I think it's a solid 6. But it's got processes in it that you may actually like. You may rate it a little higher than
Here's the thing, Craig. Right? When I rated the game, I rated it off a curve for Microsoft, what they have going within their stable. I didn't rate it against other games like Sony games and stuff. Like right? Because none of their games could ever possibly compete with, you know what I'm saying? With Red Dead, with Red Dead, GTA, like you know, and all the Sony games. That's unfair.
Yeah, you compare it to the stable.
Porter Rock said it once before. Like they're building back up. They got to crawl before they can walk. They're not just going to come out here and start scoring touchdowns and stuff. They just got to start little by little, right? You got an 84. Now you got to follow that up with an 85 and then 86. Yeah, it's going to take a while before you can compete with the big dogs. But
not just
this is the crazy part about it. They've overhyped the hardware. They've overhyped the hardware so much where every game has to hold Xbox on its shoulders. And that's really unfair to Bethesda because they didn't ask to be in that position. But now that Microsoft bought them, every fucking game they drop is going to have to hold the company on its shoulders. That's just what it is.
Well, and I liked your review because you compared it to, the first thing you did was you compared it to other Bethesda games, which makes sense. And, when Cyberpunk came out, Cyberpunk was compared to The Witcher. They didn't compare it to Doom or nothing where it was first person or whatever you want to call it. It was compared to Witcher because people were like, look, one of your most successful games is The Witcher and it's third person. So why are you changing it? I think that's legitimate. Yeah, the first thing I compared this to was Fallout. I'm like, all right, it's a little bit of Fallout. It's a little bit of Mass Effect Andromeda. It's a little bit of Elite Dangerous. As a matter of fact, the space combat is Elite Dangerous. It's the exact copy, But and then and then it's a little bit of No Man's Sky. So if you like those 4 games, if you've enjoyed those 4 games, there are processes in this game. I think you said it the best, J-Dub. There are processes in this game that you may enjoy and you may give it a higher score. The first thing I complained about is at the very beginning. I know you're further along. The very beginning, when you find the gravity well and the rocks were floating, your character should have been floating. You're in a gravity well. So you know, when the ships are landing and taking off, there was a perfect opportunity for Bethesda at this point to use a vibration on the controller. That doesn't, at least I haven't felt that happening yet. And I've got vibration on. I double checked it. So it's just missed opportunities. Yeah.
And that's another reason, Craig, that I don't compare a Microsoft first party game to the game. They don't have the next generation features in their games. Sony has all the DualSense haptic feedback, the ray tracing, or all the performance options, VRR and all that stuff, 120 and all kind of stuff, right? That's just Sony was prepared for next generation. Microsoft, I feel like they thought they were going to be prepared, but they didn't take into account the Series S and how developers were going to take to that console. And so now the developers are doing the bare minimum and they're not going to add all those additional features and stuff in there. That's just, it is what it is. They're lucky just to even get a game on their platform. Look at they're barely going to get Baldur's Gate 3. They're not going to get Quantum Error until next year or the following year, right? They're not going to get the new Lord of the Rings game. They're not going to get that, right? It's just all of these developers starting to come out and it's like, nah, we're just going to skip this platform. They have the lowest install base. Their consoles are conflicting. It costs extra work to get shit going. We have to remove features and stuff out of our game and modes out of our game just to put it on their platform. It's not worth it when we can go to this, shit, we'll put it on the PC and put it on PlayStation. PlayStation, they're sitting around about 55 million console. At the end of the year, they'll be at 65 according to Sony if their projections go accordingly. So it's just it is what it is. It's just the wrong timing. Like Phil said last generation, that was the worst generation to lose. I hate to be that guy, but this is the generation where it's impossible to catch back up because you had that conflicting. You got the Series S out there, and unfortunately, 80% of the install base is on the S, not the X. If it was 20%, 80 the opposite way, they could just get rid of the Series S and just fully support the X. But it's reverse. They're more likely to drop the Series X and just keep the Series S, and maybe that's why they brought out a second revision of the Series S, the black one, the one with the 1 terabyte.
Yeah. So now let me ask you. Now, I mean, you remember, and I know everybody here remembers when shout out to the late great Optimus. That's exactly what he said was going to happen. He said exactly what you just said. But yeah, I agree with your review on it. As far as Starfield's concerned, I thought, and like you said, there's things here that are cool. And Porter Rock, I thought when his upload, Porter Rock, I thought that was fair when you said, yeah, there are things here that are good, but it's not what they said. And like J-Dub prefaced it with all this power talk, VRR and VRS and all this kind of stuff. This does not match that. Machine learning. Yeah, none of that is here. So that is disappointing in itself. The game, however, isn't horrible. It's not a horrible thing.
It's not a. See, this is where the Xbox fanboys. This is what they don't want to hear, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. It's not about the game. It's not about Starfield. It's really not about that. That game is a good game. It's a good, solid game any day of the week.
Agreed.
But right, and there's a big but there.
Yep.
Because they bragged so much about this game years prior to launch. Yeah. Because they bragged years before these consoles launched. Yeah. Now they're eating crow because Microsoft, these executives went on a limb. 4K 60 ray tracing, uncompromised, right? They went out on a limb, recorded all these videos, put all these tweets out there, popping big shit, and none of this shit has come to fruition. And every single game they drop right now is 30 frames a second, right? It doesn't have ray tracing. It doesn't have instant loading. It doesn't have no next generation features. And so they're lucky that this game got 84 Metacritic, which is a great score. They're lucky because it really doesn't deserve that if you take into account that it's a next generation only game. What consists of next generation is the features, right? The feature set. That's what distinguishes next generation from last generation. That literally what it is.
It does have the only thing I can think of is the FSR. It is sporting FSR. It does, but that's according to Zaddy. I mean, that's according to
I think that's on PC, right? That's not on consoles.
I thought it was console as well, but I could be wrong. That's fine. I don't mind standing corrected.
Because on consoles, it doesn't give you any graphical options to change, right? There's no options there, so
correct. That's true.
It is what it is, and you would assume even games like Forspoken that are much more graphically intense and has the next generation features, right? That's all the next generation features. That game had performance mode. That game had 4K mode. It had next generation option. It had DualSense haptic feedback. It had instant loading. It had, I think ray tracing and shadows and stuff. It had next generation stuff in there. This game literally has 0 next generation features. So just because they're not offering it on the Xbox One, does that really mean it's a next generation game? And I know somebody's going to say, "Oh, but it's a big game. It's the scope. It's ambitious." Man, I don't want to hear that shit. They've picked this game apart already. Yeah, they've picked this game apart so much. No, you cannot just walk complete planet, right? You can't. You're going to run into invisible force field that's going to force you to go back to your ship, and then you have to pick that same spot again, and it'll open up another block of stuff where you can walk again. So stop with the whole ambitious thing, right? And I hate when people use the word ambitious when it comes to games, because as a developer, your game can be ambitious, but it's your fault if you decide to make this game do something that the platforms it's intended to run on can't handle. That's your fault. Make your game, right? These developers have the dev kit. They know what these consoles are capable of. Make a game accordingly, right? You just.
All right, let me ask you this: do you think they mean ambitious? Because the way I took that is ambitious for Bethesda. I think some people. So I want to ask your opinion here. Do you think people could be taking the word ambition and making it's supposed to be ambitious for the industry, like what something like that? So you don't. Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's fine.
Fallout 4 is a better game.
I agree. I agree.
It's a better game, and I'll be honest. To me, I think it's a bigger game. I don't care about the people who use big when they talk about space, right? When they talk, you can go here and there, but all of those things aren't pre-generated. Those are randomly generated, procedurally generated worlds, right? The computer system literally makes it up in real time as you go forward. So how can it really be that big? A game like Fallout 4, you had to actually have an artist that created every building and every block that you walk on and everything else, right? That's more ambitious to me than
and much more dense.
Exactly.
Yeah, more density.
And take a game like No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah.
A much smaller developer, right? A handful of developers created that game. That game has 4 quintillion planets that you can explore. Yes, it's procedurally generated, but so is Starfield. So are you going to tell me that? No, and I get it. You can have 1,000 sandwiches in one spot. Okay, cool. I mean, fine. If that's what your game want to consist of, that is fine. But when you look at the competition, right, which is No Man's Sky. That can be done in VR, right? Which takes more power to process that. You can actually land on planets. You can have vehicles. You can have rovers. You can have submarines. You can have mechs. You can have all of this stuff. You can literally fly in land in a spot, take off, fly in the sky, go through the atmosphere, go through the ozone layer, then get into space, and then you can fly as long as you want to wherever solar system you want in real time. There is nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You can't do none of that in this particular game. This game is just one big fast travel. It's one big fast travel. So my thing is, I think the Xbox guys need to take a chill pill, admit that this game is okay. It's a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop trying to act like it's doing something that nobody has ever done in history. It's not a trendsetter. It shouldn't be able to carry Xbox on its back. It's not that type of game. And think about it. This game, even at 84, it is still one of the highest rated Xbox games in the last 15 years. Don't act like you've always got 90 some Metacritic games, right? They haven't.
I agree.
They've been on a losing streak for the last 10 years, outside of the typical Gears and Forza Horizon, right? Yeah. So let's stop the crap. And I'm just being honest. This is no hardcore dig. I'm just being honest. Crying over a fucking 84. I'll take an 84 every day of the week. When these guys gave, I think Returnal a 80. Well, technically,
80, I don't know. 86. Is it 86?
86.
Listen, okay. God of War 94, Demon Souls 92, Ratchet and Clank 88, which I believe all of these 88 games, like Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon Forbidden, all of these games, only in this climate will Sony games get an 88 when they should be like 93 and 94, right? But because Xbox games get graded on a curve, you have games like Halo Infinite, right? Instantly get Game of the Year. Not only nominated, but it's given Player's Choice Game of the Year before the game even comes out, right? They are already giving this game stuff before it, so it has really nothing to prove. And I think what we were talking about earlier of how Forbes magazine said what Microsoft did is try to front load and block everybody who could possibly rate this game the way it needed to be rated. They blocked them out and they let all the Xbox title sites get their hundreds in there while they could, right? The Windows Centrals, the Xbox Centrals, the Xbox Madness, the Xbox this, blah, 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 blah. All the Xbox fanboy sites get to throw their 100s on there, so it makes it seem like, oh my God, this game is great. It's a 95 Metacritic game. And then once the truth come out and everybody else get their copy, what happened? Then you start getting the sevens, all the sevens down the road, and it's a solid 7 game every day of the week. And I'll give it that, and they should accept that, especially after coming off of freaking Redfall, right?
Yeah,
literally.
Well, I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah,
this is for Forza Motorsport. It's going to be the third next generation 30 frames a second game that Microsoft released.
I don't understand that because wasn't it? Hold on, well, because you play them all. Wasn't it on the Xbox, the Scorpio? Wasn't it 4K native 60? It was always 60 though, right?
To be fair,
Yeah,
the 30 frame version is the one with ray tracing. So for whatever reason, they want to provide ray tracing, which
I get that.
I get that. I understand.
But
we're talking about a racer here. We're talking about a
but you still have you still know, but you do have 60. It's the one without ray tracing.
Ray tracing. I get that.
I understand.
But what I'm saying as a sim racer, and again, I'm biased because I am a racer, right? I'm a sim racer. So this is like, there is no 30 frames a second sim games out in the world. You can't even buy them. They don't exist.
Yeah.
Microsoft has created this to give you ray tracing. Now, my thing is ray tracing even needed in a simulation type of game? Because you are driving the average speed of about 140, 160 miles an hour.
I get
is a blur.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but if you don't like it, then don't use it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't see the issue with them making a 4K 30 ray tracing, because you could just ignore it. Just don't play it. You know, just don't play it. You know what I'm saying? I think the only way you could criticize the 4K 30 with ray tracing is if there's a game with 4K 60 ray tracing. That's the only way you could criticize it. But there isn't any. For whatever reason, for whatever reason they want to make a mode with ray tracing. You really, it's just don't use it if you don't like it. And I'm not a racing fan.
I don't disagree.
Just don't use it.
Here's the angle I'm coming at. And
why you can argue? I say why you can argue. Yeah. Why you can argue is, why didn't they provide a 4K 120 mode like GT? Then I can understand that.
That's another avenue, right? But I can understand. Focusing on the 30 because the Forza Horizons, right? They are 430. And then they are the checkerboarded 60. It makes sense in that type of game because it's an open world game, right? They have to focus on the lush trees and the environment. A simulation racing is a track-based racing. The game literally is about the tracks that are real life. When you go to this track and that track in real life, this is exactly how it looks. And it's all about the tracks. It's about nothing else. Go ahead.
So let me have a question. A lot of PlayStation gamers like Drive Club, and that was 30 frames.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, guess what? And that was a arcade, right? That wasn't a simulation. See, let me explain the difference, right? In simulation racing and simulation motorsports, the object is to mimic real life, just like you were sitting behind the wheel in real life. Real life physics, real life mechanics, real life shifting, real life, apexes, everything is to simulate like you right behind the steering wheel yourself, right? Okay. Arcade, it doesn't matter. You can be the Need for Speeds, the Forza Horizons, and all of the other the Drive Clubs. All of those, you can do whatever you want, and nobody will complain at all. Not one single person complained about Forza Horizon having 30 frames. You know why? Because it's a arcade racer. It's not meant to be real life. It's not meant to be realistic. Forza Motorsport is supposed to be a simulation racing game. So this is a first. It has literally never been done in any simulation racing, even back in the Gran Turismos on PS2 and PS1.
But I get it.
Has never been done.
But I get it. But the thing is, it's not like, so let's say like for you who's a hardcore sim guy, you got your 4K 60. So what about the casuals that aren't hardcore as you?
I don't have my 4K 60. I have my 1080p 60.
No, they have 4K
No,
60.
it's not. It's dynamic. They say it's native 1080p, and of course they checkerboarded up to 1440p or 4K. I'm just that's just what it
I mean, I'm not
is.
sure. I don't.
You're not getting 4K 60.
No,
so,
because I heard because I heard the 1080p was the one with, because they also have 1080p performance mode with ray tracing, and that's 1080p.
Nope, it's already been confirmed. Even Super GT said it. It's already been, they already confirmed it. You got native 4K 30. Well, actually, it's not even native. It's checkerboarded.
What is it? Is it Forza 5 or what is it? What Forza is this? I don't know what the fucking Forza it is.
This is Forza 8. This is Forza 8.
Forza 8.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, right? And I'm not even going into the promises that the developers and Phil Spencer made, right? Saying that we were going to get native 4K 60 with ray tracing. I'm not even going there because it's been a lie. That's already been debunked. That's why I'm working my way up to that, right? What was promised versus what we're getting. We're not getting native anything. Everything is dynamic in this game.
That's true. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It is 1080p, and then they upscale it from 1080p to output of 4K to your TV, right? But I'm not even going to harp on that. I'm speaking as a sim racer who has purchased every single Forza Motorsport game in existence, right? I just don't understand why they made this decision when they could have easily just focused on shit. Fuck it, drop it down to 1440p, drop it down. I mean, just whatever. I just don't. The direction that they made. I wouldn't have made that.
So here's the three modes. So they're saying
J Dub's opinion.
So they said you got three modes. You got the performance mode, which is prioritize 60 frames per second on track performance at 4K. Performance RT mode, which is enable on track ray tracing features at 60 frames per second with variable resolution. So that's the dynamic. And then you got visual mode, which is maximize 4K visual quality on track with ray tracing at 30 frames. So I'm thinking for most that wants the performance, it's going to be performance mode. So 4K 60.
That's not dynamic 4K. It's not native.
They're saying performance RT is the variable resolution.
No, okay. So I have it right here, and this is kind of, it is what it is. You got performance mode, quality, and performance with ray tracing, right? Yeah. And so think of it this way: 1080p, dynamic 4K, and then think of it as a 1440p, a dynamic 1440p. That's basically how you got to think about it.
Well, who put it that way though? Who's saying that? This is the developer.
Put it in your 60 frames no lag Twitter, Porter Rocket.
I will.
Yeah, I got it from. Now, I mean, again, I don't know if it's confirmed or just is something that's leaked.
No, it's literally confirmed. By the way,
it does say performance.
Just so y'all know, I have a copy.
Oh,
I have a copy.
Yeah, and it has ray tracing. It says reflections RT off. It does have dynamic resolution that goes up to 2160p. Then the quality mode that you all were talking about, that's RT. That's full RT, 30 frames per second. It does have a performance RT mode that does have, it says cars. It says cars RT mirror, ray tracing mirror, all tracks RT mirror, none. No,
keep in mind too, Craig. It has ray tracing in cinematics.
Yeah, it says it right here.
Showroom and other areas, and so what you're getting on the track is the mirrors of the cars mirroring off the bodies. That's the ray tracing you're getting. You're getting basically the reflections of the cars. So
you have a pit crew because that car would fix itself and put gas in it itself, back in the day with Forza. So at least now you got a pit crew. So
and again, it's fine. I think the game is. I mean, I'll give you my opinion on what I think the Metacritic score is going to be off the bat. I think he's going to get an 84 Metacritic. I literally think that's exactly where it's going to be. Yeah. And I can give you various reasons of why that is, and that's a great score for Xbox game. That is a great score. That's why I don't understand.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. There's almost like they're saying that 84, 86 is bad. It's like, no, those are good scores. I mean, those are really good scores.
Keep in mind, guys, it does not have more options than GT, right? GT not only has VR mode, it has 120 hertz mode, it has the 4K with VRR mode, it has the 4K 60 native, literally native. Right, literally native. They're native, right? None of that checkerboard shit. It has native 4K, so it has every option imaginable for GT. So let's calm that down. And I'm not trying to ruffle your feathers.
Yeah, I mean, you play all these racing games. So
yeah.
I would default to you.
So Craig, so the article. So yes, your article does say. I got it. So your article does say. That is dynamic. The problem is this is the source right here, right? Where it says Twitter. And when you click on the source, is this dude Idlesloth. But Idlesloth didn't say what the article says. Okay. So the article is not actually confirming, it's just regurgitating, but it did a pro wording. Now I'm not saying Idlesloth is correct either. In fact, once I saw Idlesloth, I'm like, oh, here we go. I wouldn't rely on this dude either. You understand what I'm saying?
I would wait till they confirm it, but I'm just looking at what is here, and if this is accurate, it is it's dynamic resolution, which is nothing wrong with this. I'm the one who said on my podcast, checkerboard and dynamic resolution wasn't going nowhere. I specifically said that.
No, Craig, the only thing that's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is what Phil Spencer and the developers specifically said. We got the videos, right? That they private.
You're right. I agree with you.
Right? When they came out and talking about this game, right?
Which I agree, and I knew they was gonna bit them in the ass. But to be fair, Sony did say GT7 was next gen only. They actually said that about that game. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna sit.
That's fine.
So when I saw OT was jumping on that, I was like, I'm gonna fall. I was like, I'm gonna fall.
Did those developers and did Sony not get their lumps for that? Didn't they get their lumps?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
write an article and everybody right?
That's true. Yeah. So I was like, ooh.
So they got their lumps. So guess what? This game is finna this Forza Motorsports is finna get his lumps too. So I'm not gonna.
But when I saw
everybody had 50 articles about GT.
When I saw 4K 60 with ray tracing, I knew that was not gonna happen. I'm like, this is gonna happen. But then again, I don't really give a shit about racing games.
Well,
to be honest. I personally don't give a shit.
This is
which I'm just gonna say this. Let me say this though. Spider-Man, I can play at 4K 60 with ray tracing, with VRR and HFR enabled. Put some respect on Miles Morales.
Hold on, when can you do that?
What the hell, bro? Have you been asleep? Miles Morales, when you play Miles Morales, right? Play in HFR VRR mode. It will unlock the game.
Oh, it's got those. All right. Oh no. I didn't. All right. Cool. Yeah. Ever since I got my new TV, I've not gone back and played Miles.
I'm not.
When I played it, it wasn't.
I can't rock the Giants hat because they got rocked last night. So
with
the new blue Yankee.
Now I understand. No.
Put some respect on Miles Morales. 4K, and sometimes it goes higher than 60 frames with ray tracing.
Yeah, no, that's true. It will. Yeah, I do remember seeing that now. Okay, no, you're right.
But put some respect.
Do you see Puerto Rock? Every single one of Sony's.
Hold up. So let me say something real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. Just the chat. Just so out of the chat. So for the chat, what I'm talking about, because I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're a liar." The way to do it, you have to pick VR quality mode, VR high frame rate mode. That's the mode where you can get the game native 4K with ray tracing, 60 frames, because they done tests. Because what they did was simply they unlocked the game. The game has unlocked frame rates, and it pretty much goes even higher than 60 frames. Guys did tests; it goes around 66, 67 frames.
80.
So let Jesus take the wheel on that game. Amazing experience, which is why I hope Spider-Man 2 has that day one, because boy, it's gonna be gorgeous playing that game.
Ooh, can you imagine?
In VRR high frame rate. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it. So we could have that conversation a little bit because that's a long conversation. But I'll be pissed if the game doesn't have that mode day one. It should have it. There's no reason not to. Anyway, there should be zero reason. Zero reasons not to have it.
have you seen the screen comparisons of downtown of New York? They showed the density.
Oh yeah,
the first, they loaded it with full of cars and full of people and full of ray tracing, all this shit.
I'm gonna put it.
It looks like someone went downtown and took a picture, like in real life, of like full traffic and everything, compared to what the other game looked like. The other game was almost kind of bare. It's like, damn, they really cranked up the levels. And the developer, he said, "Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. This is an old screenshot. Wait till so." I think Insomniac hasn't let us down yet on none of their games with the technology and some of the stuff that they're able to do. So I see Spider-Man Spider-Man 2 knocking it out the park even more. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah, we got some bills, Puerto Rock. You want to pay them bills?
Pay some bills. All right. So yeah, let's do these bills. Let's do these bills. First, we'll shout out to J Roll. Been a family member for 6 months. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We got some Stuart Stokes up in here. He says, as someone that played the bigger Skyrim mods that added areas, islands, underground areas, Starfield feels like a big mod for Fallout 4, not a new IP. We got Holomoko.
Yeah. Shout out. He says, again, that's fair because it does have a lot of Oblivion and Skyrim in it. You can feel it. He's not wrong. I don't disagree with that.
Okay, all right.
So, it's there.
Holomoko, he says Forza Motorsport 8, none of their modes have native 4K.
I know.
I said let's wait till Digital Foundry?
Yeah, they did a video.
Okay. They did
and Super GT, he's one of the top esports racers. He got his hands on the copy, and after the show I'll show you guys some stuff. All right. We'll see.
All right. JFK TV. I just got off work. I'm a delivery driver. Dog. One Stop had 30 Temu packages. 30. I don't want to drive anymore. Forza Motorsport sucks. I'm telling you, man, driving game sucks, bro.
Oh, man.
Who the fuck wants to play a game where you said, "Ooh, I won because I made better left turns than you"? Boy, if you don't get your ass out of here. Horizon is cool.
Better left turn.
Get out of here.
That's the old enjoyment of it. Come on, man.
Get your ass out of here.
Oh, man.
You might as well drive for Lyft. At least you could get money. Man, be an Uber driver. Get paid. Man. Horizon is cool though. I just be typing. I got rice now. Shout out to
Listen,
wait a minute.
Wait till come on 4K Blu-rays so I can send Puerto Rock an autographed copy of Gran Turismo the movie. I'm gonna force him to watch it live on air.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm actually looking forward to watching that again. I watched that in XD. It's okay.
I took my kids last weekend or the weekend before last. My boys, I took them to see it. It's an amazing movie, man. No cap. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. And you don't have to be a racing fan to enjoy the movie. You'll understand it. It is based off real life.
Listen. Stop throwing subliminals. You know you trying to make me see that bullshit. You don't have to be a racing fan to enjoy the movie. I know that. Listen, I see a subliminal. I hear a subliminal when I hear one. Go ahead and say, Puerto Rock, you need to see this movie. You can't hear me.
Craig?
Hello?
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who can you hear?
Did he cut out?
Who you hear?
We can hear you.
All right. Oh, that was J-Dub. So now J-Dub want to go Bird Box. Now he don't hear nothing. Now you don't hear nothing. I know that was subliminal shot. Hey, you ain't gotta like racing games to watch this movie. In other words, hey, Puerto Rock, go watch the movie. Why don't you just say that? Oh, but hold on.
Yeah. My bad.
Let me see.
I'm back.
You're fine. No, but it wasn't a bad movie. At least in XD. It wasn't bad in XD.
Man, that movie's trash. Made a whole movie. That shit should have went straight to Netflix.
Oh man, what you trying to say? It's a Tubi movie. Oh,
that shit should have been on Peacock. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, Let me see. One thing about it though, I don't know why, but recently Sony's movies, their video game transition movies and TV shows have really knocked it out the park.
Except for Uncharted, I wasn't feeling Uncharted, but I'm gonna tell you, Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's the crazy part? The crazy part, the game pretty much wrote the movie because they weren't that far off. Granted, they added a lot more context, but I'm like, overall, the script is really good. the way the game was.
Yeah.
And Twisted Metal, that shit is good. Twisted Metal is good.
Better than I thought.
Yeah.
Better than I thought that was going to be.
A lot better. Twisted Metal is good. I can't wait for season 2. Gemini J, he says the Tower of Power can't do 4K 60 with ray tracing with full.
And this is first party games,
RDNA with full RDNA, dual stack GPU with machine learning. Say it ain't so. I think it just needs its Wheaties.
What is it? Velocity architecture.
Oh man, these motherfuckers literally argue for accelerated machine learning, and that shit ain't doing a good. Yo, this shit is crazy. And the bottle side, he said, I'm playing Starfield at high FPS on my Ally, then an Xbox Series X. It's amazing.
It is true.
Switch 2 can't compete. Why, the Rogue? The Rogue does 60? Don't tell me the Rogue does 60. No, it don't. There's no way.
It does between 45 to 60. I have it on my Rogue Ally.
Oh my god. Don't worry. Soon we're gonna be playing on the iPhone 15 at 60 frames.
Yeah, I saw that thing come out.
According to Digital Foundry, Starfield runs at low to medium settings on the X Series X.
That's true. I heard that too. I couldn't believe my ears. Man. They're not even getting high.
Let me ask y'all this, right? Let me ask y'all this. We know, because of the court case and stuff like that, that Sony was actually targeting getting a marketing deal, getting these games, Redfall and Starfield exclusive for PlayStation, getting an exclusive deal. Then I guess Phil heard about it and he went and bought Bethesda, and the rest is history, right? Do y'all think that Jim Ryan, that he dodged a bullet with those two games? Because what if he would have made those games exclusive and those games would have came out the way that they came out for that's on the Series X? I mean, the Series
Redfall, I agree with you very quickly. Starfield, I think we've played on it. We both agree it's solid. So I think that I'm not going to say he dodged a bullet, but with Starfield, because again, it's solid. It's not like Porter White was saying in his video he uploaded. Some are going to say it's great, and I agree with that. If you like some of the processing, I mean, the space combat, I like it in Elite Dangerous, and it's the same in Starfield. I mean, you even have to, you have to move shield energy to engines and stuff like that. You do the same in Elite, so that's that aspect I do like about the games. But so I don't know about dodging a bullet, but let's just say he may have had a standing 8. Let's call it a standing 8.
I'd say
it's good. It's not great. Yeah.
This is the challenge, and I think some people realize it, some people don't. Well, put Bethesda separately. We're gonna single out just Bethesda. So Bethesda was put in a bad position. They were set up for failure, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right. This game was the game began production 2016, so it was a multi-plat, right? Gonna make it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series X, blah blah blah, PC, yada yada yada. Then Microsoft decided to bolster their own platform, primarily Game Pass. They said, "Hey, we're buying Bethesda. Now Bethesda's first party, right? As of 2021, right? The problem is Bethesda was not part of Xbox bullshit. Remember, they weren't part of the whole full RDNA. You get all this shit, fucking 12 T bags of power, accelerated machine learning, the Honor console with the full suite of RDNA 2.0. Bethesda had nothing to do with that shit. When all that shit was going around, Bethesda said, "Hey, we just doing us." Then one day, not even the developers, because they didn't even have anything to do with this. Developers one day, they're looking on Twitter and they saw the video just like us. Microsoft plans to purchase Bethesda. And the developers like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's happening?" Like, yo, motherfuckers trying to get paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, they fall under first party, right? When you're a first party developer, it's a whole different expectation than third party. Because now you are associated to that console that's machine learning, full RDNA 2.0, VRS tier 3, fuck hardware, accelerated ray tracing, all the bullshit. So you are expected to use all that shit to make your game the best possible, because you have direct access to all of it. You don't have a choice but to use all that. You better use accelerated machine learning. You better use all 12 T-flops. You better use VRS Tier 3. You better use all that shit. All that shit that Microsoft says that comes with the console, use that shit. Right? But Bethesda's like, nah, we're not using that. They came out with a Lot 30 game. No, they probably didn't even use what's that? Architecture shit. Accelerated what's that shit called?
Yep.
What's the architecture shit? Velocity shit. They probably didn't even barely use that. And they look bad from that perspective. No next gen features, no velocity engine. Why is the game locked at 30? How come there's no performance options for 60? Stuff like that. Hey, you a first party now. Third party, cool. If you were still a third party game, it is what it is. You don't have to use none of that. You know, third party EA. Yeah, hell, even Square Enix. Square Enix is not using with Final Fantasy 16. They didn't use VR, HR options, whatever. I mean, you do what you want when you're third party. It is what it is. But when you're first party, yo, you got all this shit. Who better than you? If first party can't use all this stuff, then who's gonna use it? That's literally the whole point. Bethesda didn't use it. So the question is, did they have time to use it or not? I would have thought that with Bethesda, see, here's the thing. We have to ask ourselves, is Microsoft simply looking at all these studio purchases as just something to bolster Game Pass so they can have content? Or are they trying to be like, hey, now that you guys are under our umbrella, we're going to help you be better. We're going to give you all the resources. We're going to give you everything we need. You need to make the games better. So like Bethesda, hey, we understand, it's ambitious, but we cannot launch this game at 30 frames. If we just can't, especially after seeing Redfall. No, that's not an option. This game gotta have a performance mode. Whatever it's gotta do to do it, then we're gonna do it. But you're first party now. Yeah, you gotta bring out, shit like that. Like elevate these third party studios that were once third party. They are now first party. Elevate them, clue them in, make them use all this shit. Unless all that shit Microsoft hype don't really work, which was something I brought up 3 years ago, right? In 2020, while everybody was talking all this shit, I was saying, why didn't Sony get all this stuff? Because Sony has some of the best developers in the world, right? I'm saying Neil Druckmann, Cory Barlog, all them dudes, Gorilla. These dudes make some of the most beautiful looking games out there. These guys win Game of the Year titles. So
now they have
they know AMD. They know Lisa. Shit, Lisa Su made the cell processor. She built that sucker for PlayStation, for Sony. So they know everybody. You cannot tell me that the whole VRS, machine learning, that all that shit that AMD has, it was no secret. It wasn't like it's exclusive to Xbox. Sony had all that shit too, but they chose not to use it. They said, nah, we good. We're going to stick with our own shit. So I always wonder, how come nobody asked that? How come nobody asked the makers of The Last of Us 2, God of War, Horizon, all this shit, guys who make, Spider-Man, Insomniac, all these people, how come none of them said, yeah, we need all that? How come they were like, nah, we're good? How come they backed away? It's got to be, those tools probably are not all cracked up what they are. They've probably been overhyped. And I think Sony saw that. They're like, yeah, they're cool, especially if you want to make multi-platform games day one. Yeah, they're cool tools. But we focusing on PS5, we got better shit than that. So we're going to stick with our shit. And nobody questioned that. Nobody thought that. Everybody thought Sony just did the wrong decision. Or not everybody, the Xbox. They thought Sony did the wrong decision. Your RDNA 1.5, all this bullshit. And now look. Look how shit turned out. Microsoft already released. This is their third game. They released 3 games with no performance mode. None. No performance mode. 3 games already. How many more is coming? How many more is coming? Shit. How many more games are they gonna lock down at 30 and with no performance option? This shit is crazy.
We know Hellblade coming. We know man.
But the original Hellblade had a 60 FPS mode, didn't it?
That eventually got patched, I think, down the line. But I mean, shit, we're still waiting on Redfall, and that's a multiplayer first-person shooter.
Yeah, stall them out. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Shit. Oh man. So hey, M.
I don't know.
E4 Extreme.
Yo,
You got anything to say?
My
man, I've been here
quiet.
listening to you guys.
Now, so I got one thing. So I have yet to play Starfield only because good friends of mine who I trust outside of Twitter, like friends that I know who are gamers in real life, they tell me that the game's not running well on PC. Wait for patches. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Wait for patches.
Wait for the mods. The mods.
Wait for mods.
The mods will fix it.
But not
allegedly.
but actually performance patches. They said the game is buggy, and they told me that shit's gonna make your 350 cry. I was like, oh shit. That's just gonna make it. This is just gonna make you cry. You get your 350 is gonna be crying. It's like your 350 is gonna cry in the shower. It's gonna be assaulted. So wait for the patches.
I know
and they
that
said
wait for good. J-Dub and Craig.
They said wait for good
DL.
They said wait for good DLSS patches, and I'm like, you know what?
Facts.
That's it, bro.
Good patch.
I know that J-Dub and Craig have played the Starfield game, so I wanted to just let them have an uninterrupted, time just with it to be able to talk about the experiences on it. I just think that it's always funny that when people talk about how great Starfield is, there's always a caveat, like, oh, it's great for a Bethesda game. Oh, it's great, but it doesn't do this. Oh, it's great, but it doesn't do that. It's garbage. So we're just gonna call it that. Because I am going to judge it against every other game. I am going to judge it against other first-party games, not just from Sony, but from Nintendo as well. I am going to uphold it to the same standard as everybody else. It doesn't get graded on the curve. I am going to judge it against the promises that they made that they didn't deliver on. And I do not have that Bethesda love that says that I want to put 1,000 potatoes in a cargo and somehow that's fun. Like, it isn't. Give me good gameplay instead. So, because of that, I'm going to stick with it's garbage. Now, when it comes to the whole Forza Motorsport debate about the modes, the only thing I would agree with J-Dub is, it's like, what is the point of having on-track ray tracing if you're giving me 30 frames per second? Because for me, that would be like having ray tracing in a fighting game, but it's at 30 frames per second during the gameplay. It's like, there's almost no point to this. It's almost like you just wanted to check a box to be able to say, like, you did it, but it's basically unusable because the particular gaming medium that you're applying it to just doesn't accept anything less than 60. So, but at the same time, I'm not a sim racer, so I'm not that involved in that. I don't really care. They give you the option for 60 somewhere, somehow, so it is whatever. One thing that I would want to see, though, is whether the ray tracing option at 30 frames looks better than any of the 60 frames per second modes, on the track during gameplay, compared to GT7. Because at the end of the day, a racing game is meant to be a visual representation of the power. For most of us anyway. A lot of people actually play them and they actually enjoy them and they actually care about the deeper mechanics. But for the rest of us, it's eye candy. And even though I have Gran Turismo and I love it, I bought it way more for nostalgia, and I actually like the history lessons. I actually like learning about the automobile industry through the game. I actually really enjoyed that segment of it, and that is the thing that sold me on the game. I'm a terrible racer, so I will never speak on which one is better than the other from an actual gameplay perspective and the car physics and everything else like that. I will, leave it to other people. But yeah, I do want to see, like, should I have wished that Gran Turismo 7 have ray tracing on the track at 60 frames? Is that a thing that would have been a superior technology to the lighting engine that we got? Because the lighting in Gran Turismo as it is amazing. So yeah, let's see what Forza Motorsport can do from that perspective. But looking at the comparisons on Twitter, the whole car models, one versus the other, it's not looking good for Forza. Because the other thing that I really love is being able to, like, ogle a car in the showroom and just, like, see all of the details and the handcrafted nature of all of those car models. That's super enjoyable. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. So, like I said with J-Dub, I don't see it as a big issue because, again, if let's say if you boot it up and it's terrible, let's say like because you're an enthusiast in sim, then you just stop playing and then just go to the performance mode and you got your 4K dynamic 4K 60 and you get the smoothness. Now, I think the 4K 30
I get it,
tracing,
but would you accept ray tracing in a Street Fighter at 30 frames? Like, is there even a point in that mode being there?
I just don't know, but I just don't know how
the options there. Like, but
here's the thing: there's been racers that are 30 frames though. Now again, I'm not a racing enthusiast.
Not sim racers. No, there has not been a single sim racer.
But there's people who don't even call Forza a true sim racer. I mean, you hit the rewind button, right, or some shit.
No, I call it a sim game.
I know. So you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is either way, let's say like Street Fighter. Let's say they did a Street Fighter at 30 frames because they wanted to do some type of graphical ray tracing technology. I'm like, oh man, this shit sucks. I can't play like this. Then I'll just play performance mode, and then I'll just ignore that mode and never use it again, right? But for like the casuals, and I guarantee the eye candy gamers, you know, they'll boot it up at 4K 30 with ray tracing, go into photo mode, and take all the pictures. Because, you know, that's... You can have those gamers. Yeah. Gamers that don't even really play the mode, but they'll play it just so they could, like, create scenery and take photo mode pictures.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's kind of a... like a sales tactic. Like, yeah, that's like a... like free labor for marketing a game. Because you're going to have all these gamers showing pictures of the 4K 30 mode, and it's going to look graphically better than what it really is in 60 frame modes. But nobody's going to know the difference because when people look at Twitter, they're going to be like, oh, wow, the game really looks like that. When in reality, yes, if you play in 30 frames. But nobody.
Okay.
So it's a cheesy way of marketing. You know, it's a cheesy marketing way.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. But, you know, again, this... I agree with you, right? 100% on that. If you're going at that angle, I guess I'm looking at it from a sim racer, right? Which is niche. All of us sim racers, Super GT and the rest of those guys out there, they've all made the same comment I've made. But why? Like, why? You're marketing at that. You're saying that you're going for the sim crowd, that you're really trying to ramp up the simulation aspects and stuff, and you're going towards to make this towards the hardcore. And yet you do it in 30 frames to add something. J-Dog,
they ain't going after no goddamn sim crowd. They going after that. They going after
developers say.
They going after that sim pass. They going after that sim pass crowd. Is your ass on Game Pass? They want that sim pass.
That's true.
They want your $15. They want you to simulate $15 a month.
Let me say this real quick, right? I just want 2 minutes to say this for everybody in the chat.
They want that sim pass.
There's a difference, right? There's a market for the arcade crowd. That's where Forza Horizon dominates. It's a great game.
Yeah, Need for Speed.
Need for Speed, stuff like that. There's a great market for that, right? That's the bulk of where the arcade racers are. Then there's a market for simulation. You know, people like me with racing rigs and do tournaments and all kind of stuff. The esports crowd. There's a huge market for that, right? But the in-between crowd, there is literally no market for that. That's where the test drive, you remember back on the PlayStation, back in the day, they had games like Test Drive and some of the other games, the Test Drive series. That's where they fit. They all left. They all got, because there is literally nobody that wants that in between. Nobody cares for that.
Because you do all the driving games. Where would you put Project Cars? Like Project Cars is on Project Cars is the simulation. It's on the simulation side. Now listen, Project Cars 1 and 2, but Project Cars 3 tried to capture some of the arcade crowd, so they went to the arcade side a little bit, and they ended up nobody bought it. And it proves my point. Nobody bought it, and they got stuck here in the middle where nobody purchased. Nobody from the sim side is going to buy it, and nobody from the arcade, because it's a little bit too hard of a learning curve for the casual side, but it's too arcadey for the sim guys. So nobody's going to fuck with it. And basically, the company got bought out, and that was the end of it. That's no more Project Cars. It's done. That's the end of the company. That's what I'm saying. There's just no market for that. And you would think after Forza 7, Microsoft or Turn 10 would have, and maybe this was out of their league. Maybe this wasn't their choice. Maybe Microsoft said, no, you have to do this, right? You have to do this. Maybe they should have learned after Forza 7, when Forza 7 sold like 1 million copies, and GT Sports sold like 14 million copies. Clearly there was
They should have went harder. They should have just went full blown sim and just stuck with that. And there would have been a crowd for that. Or they should have did what they did with Horizon and just say, fuck it, we're just not going to do Forza Motorsports and we're just going to tap into Forza Horizon and just double down on that and just keep doing that and focus on that, because clearly there's no middleman market. And mark my words, I know this game is in Game Pass, so people are going to talk about the engagements, but nobody's going to play this game. The arcade guys, like Porter Rock said, people are going to go into photo mode, they're going to take pictures, they're going to brag. You're not after there's just literally nothing, there's no market for it. Nobody from the sim side is going to fuck with the game. Nobody from the arcade side is gonna mess the game because it's a little bit more learning curve. So it's stuck in that same avenue, and I fear that Forza Motorsports is going to go the way to Dodo Bird.
But it's Game Pass though. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
you're gonna get 4 million players.
I don't like that, because you're taking tentpole games, right? The good reliable Halo, Gears, and Forza, they were reliable games for the last 15 years. And now you fucking went crashing with this Game Pass shit. Look at Halo.
You're going to get 5 million, 5 million people are going to see the title screen.
Bruh, they killing me with this shit. They're taking games that I actually care
I
about,
guarantee you, you're gonna have at least 5 million gamers that's gonna do at least one left turn. Yeah. They're gonna at least do one left turn. You're gonna get at least one.
Yeah, and
they're gonna applaud it as a successful thing.
Yeah, because they Game Pass this game. This game is launching with half the tracks. The world's most popular racing track, Nürburgring, is not the Nordschleife is not even in the game until next year sometime.
You need DLC.
You done pissed off all the sim racers. They're already like, fucking, I ain't fucking with this game.
You gotta buy DLC, dog. It's DLC.
You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, come on.
DLC.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I'm stressing. J-Dub got a $10,000 racing thing for Forza.
You see what I'm saying? You see, I got my Forza racing wheel and all that. It's like, man.
He got a whole room in the house. He got a whole room in the house just for racing. And he's going to play Forza at 4K 30. Ray tracing. Hey, going back to Starfield real quick. So now with Starfield dropping to 84, Hard 8 brought out a good point. So on a tweet, he wrote, Tears of the Kingdom 96, Baldur's Gate 3 96, Resident Evil 4 Remake 93, Diablo 4 91, Sea of Stars 88, Final Fantasy 16 87, and you still got, he says, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, and Super Mario Wonder still to come. Wild cards. Hogwarts and Jedi Survivor. Starfield and measly 84 and dropping. What game is getting snubbed for Starfield? Now let's listen to what he says. Everybody just listen to what he says. Let's just hear what he says.
Xbox is so dumb and emotional. They don't understand logic, nor can they comprehend. I said that in a year like this, that some people believe is going to be the best year in gaming ever. In a year like this, a game that's an 84 on Metacritic, that's in the lower 80s, there's no room for a game like Starfield to make Game of the Year in a legit way, unless it gets a pity nod. That's it. Or another game is snubbed in a year like this. So people want to bring up Death Stranding, they want to bring up Ghost of Tsushima. Look at those years that them games got nominated, and then look at this year. It's not even fucking close. Them games were able to make it into the nomination for Game of the Year because it was a down year. Wasn't much going on that year. Now look at this year and compare it to the years that Ghost and Death Stranding made it. It doesn't even compare. So this year, lower 80s shouldn't have a chance. Not saying that Starfield won't make it, but if it does, then something that should be there is going to get snubbed. What game is it going to be? I don't know. You got Final Fantasy 16, you got Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate 3, you got Tears of the Kingdom, RE4 Remake. All of those games are more critically acclaimed than Starfield. And most likely, Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man 2 will be more critically acclaimed. There only can be 6 nominations. So with a game scoring in the lower 80s, and all of those games I named score way higher, how is it going to make it? Now, no, Metacritic ain't the end all be all, but you know that the people that pick the game of the year for the Game Awards is the same people that put their scores up on Metacritic, right? So it definitely is a good indication of what you could expect. That's all I'm saying. Make it make sense. Matter of fact, argue with your mother.
He said, argue with your mother. So what do y'all think about what he said?
That's a fact. In any other year, right? In any other year, it probably would have had a chance. But this is the worst year. This year started off with Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor, and some of those other games that he named. Tears of the Kingdom, right? Zelda, a previous GOTY winner, right? So, and then let alone Resident Evil, scoring a 94 or whatever, a really high Metacritic score. On top of that, this Starfield couldn't even reach to the level of Final Fantasy 16. Spider-Man 2 is finna drop. You know people finna go crazy for that. You still got a Mario game out of everything, a Mario game coming out. There is no way in the world. I'm gonna tell you now, if Starfield wins Game of the Year over all of that, it is a pity. It's I'll be honest. It's just like it takes two. It was a pity. Give it a thing, because we're tired. We don't want people saying that the same games keep winning over and over, or the same companies keep winning over and over. We gotta make this stuff fresh and keep people in here. So one year we'll let a little indie game win, the next we'll let a big AAA game win, and so on and so on. It is what it is. Starfield should have never been in that contention anyway. It just shouldn't.
Now, based on the number list, he got Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Resident Evil 4, Diablo, Sea of Stars, and Final Fantasy 16. Just ignore Spider-Man, Alan Wake, Super Mario. Let's ignore those, so we don't have scores for those. But just those 6 games. If Starfield was to snub one of those games, which of those games do you think would get the snub out of that list?
Resident Evil. They will say that it's a remake.
All right. What do you think, Craig? Which of the list you think is gonna get snubbed? Would get snubbed? If one of those games had to be replaced with Starfield, which game would it have been? Is Craig here? Or he left? Oh, Craig left. All right, so J-Dub, you.
It'll probably be Sea of Stars. It'll have to be Sea of Stars. Final Fantasy 16 is too big of a franchise. You guys will be chaos.
That's the game that's gonna get snubbed. No, that's by me. That I'm telling you, that is the game that will get snubbed. Absolutely will get snubbed. Resident Evil 4, that game will never get snubbed. Resident Evil 4 is timeless. Listen, yo.
Honest.
Listen.
Diablo 4 may get snubbed.
E4. You know how you said always remaster, remake games? You don't care?
Yeah.
RE4 is that game. Like literally, that game came out on the PS2, and every single gen they gotta make a remaster. That is game. That is the Godfather. They're not snubbing the Godfather. That game will never get snubbed. No one will dare snub RE4. The game is too perfect. That game's gonna get remade every single generation. The game that will get snubbed, I'm telling you, is FS16, because that's an easy target. It's an easy target because it's a JRPG. They will not snub Sea of Stars. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's like an indie 2D game, and that's so precious. You gotta protect these pixel games because it's so precious.
It's amazing.
So
it should be a 98.
Exactly. They're gonna leave that alone. They're not, because that's the pure heart and soul of gaming. So that's protected.
It's gonna be Diablo, Puerto Rico.
No,
Diablo.
it's not Diablo. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be Diablo.
Hey, listen, watch your tone, okay? Because your words are right, but your tone isn't. Okay.
It's amazing. You gotta protect 8-bit pixels and get the fuck out of here. So they're gonna protect that game. So that game's protected. You know they're not gonna fuck with Zelda.
That game is protected.
They will never fuck with Zelda. Zelda, you can. Baldur's Gate 3, they ain't touching that. I'm telling you, Resident Evil 4 is the Godfather gaming. It will get remade. It will get remade every year, and it will be nominated every year. Every year. Like clockwork. Diablo, they're not touching that either. Maybe Diablo, because it pissed off a lot of people after the fact.
Right now,
So that's a potential.
Yeah.
Diablo could be a potential. But Sea of Stars is safe. But I'm telling you, if I were to roll the dice, FS16 will get snubbed. Easily.
I don't
Easily
think
get
so.
Listen, it doesn't
I
have
don't
black
think so.
people, so it can get snubbed. I don't
Listen,
care.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the reason
My
why.
man said Black Lives
Final Fantasy
Matter.
16 will not get snubbed. I'm gonna tell you why they won't. For one, it's fucking Final Fantasy, right? It's just it's too big of a franchise, and there's so many people around the world that would riot. I'll be the first. I'll start. Me and the Tiki Torch crew will storm the Capitol.
Yeah, I can say
That's just
listen,
what it is.
I'm
We
telling
ain't playing
FS16. If I were to roll my money, FS16 would be the one that gets snubbed out of that list.
Yo, listen,
Starfield.
J-Dub, as much as I want to agree with you, I think Puerto Rock is on the money with this one.
They're
Listen,
easy.
man.
One,
Final
it's easy.
Fantasy, the performance mode was not there. It didn't have black people. It is a PlayStation exclusive.
It's yes.
Already means.
Exactly.
It's in the top 4 games of this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Maybe.
Well, actually,
but they
look,
did actually Returnal.
But look, it's only available on one platform, so it's not a multi-plat. Right? It's a JRPG, AAA JRPG, and you know a lot of people are going after Square Enix because of their attitude of, man, all our games are failing, not making money. So there's already a little bit of animosity with how Square Enix looks at games and what games are successful and stuff like that, right? I'm telling you, it would be that game to get snubbed. If I were to think any game will get snubbed, it would be Final Fantasy 16.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go on a limb and say the opposite. I think Final Fantasy 16 is gonna win it out of all of these games.
Oh
no,
I like
man,
that.
you bugger. Listen. It's the confidence for me. It's the absolute confidence. There's a fine line between confidence and crazy. I think you're teetering on that line, bro. You think this game's gonna beat Zelda? Zelda alone. That alone, like if Zelda don't win it, it's only because Baldur's Gate win it. Like those two, let's not play it, bro. But I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
I'm telling you, Puerto Rock.
I like it.
It's gonna be PlayStation dudes fighting Nintendo dudes this holiday season. Watch, we finna be rumbling. I'm telling you, Tiki torches everywhere. You finna see a bunch of anime.
I'm telling you, if I see Baldur's Gate, oh yeah, I just want to rip on Baron when Baldur's Gate 3 wins. Because you know he's gonna be on this.
Listen. Here's the only thing I will riot. Starfield better not be nominated. I will give up on this industry.
But that's what we were saying. One game will get snubbed.
No.
And I think it's
I don't
Final
care
Fantasy.
who wins. But Starfield cannot even be in the running. Like,
no, but that's like can't.
Like there's 15 games ahead of Starfield. And guess what?
Exactly.
But on top of that,
there are still 30 more Metacritic score people that have to put in their reviews. This game is probably going to end up at 82.
Yeah, but you still got Spider-Man. I don't know about Alan Wake 2, but Super Mario Wonder, depending. But the wild card, I personally, Hogwarts should be nominated. That game is fantastic, bro.
It is.
Oh my god, it's fantastic.
It is.
I'm not saying it should be. I'm not saying it should be nominated over any other game. I'm not going that comparison. Yeah. But in the game in of itself is fantastic, man. Like it's fantastic. It's a perfect example of taking a license. It's one of the good examples of taking a licensed game, whether it's a movie or a book or whatever, and doing it right and doing it right by whatever that license. Like when Insomniac did with Spider-Man, while Rocksteady did for Batman. These guys did that for Harry Potter. You don't have to like Harry Potter, just like you don't have to like Batman or Spider-Man, but you can notice they did right by that IP and the lore of what the IP stood for. They did right by Harry Potter universe.
And guess what?
They did a fantastic job.
Game. It had your ray tracing. It had the instant loading. It had all of those next generation features. They did right by it. I agree. Baldur's Gate is probably going to win it. But here's another wild card, though, Puerto Rock. What if Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man is going to hit somewhere like a 92, 91, 92.
I'm not giving it to Spider-Man.
I think like it.
What if
it could hit the 99? It could hit the 99. They're not giving it to Spider-Man.
But what what if? Like, I'm just saying, what do you think?
Listen. The what if you're coming? You know that is a console wars gamer's dream. You know, you probably already have like the tweet saved in draft.
You already know. You already
have your images. You got like hundreds. You're just like, please let Spider-Man win, because you are just gonna launch. You probably already got those tweets in draft.
No.
ready.
Listen. If Spider-Man wins, they will literally burn down the Game Awards. We'll have January 6th in December or something.
Absolutely.
Whenever it happens.
Oh,
It cannot happen.
These Xbox dudes,
They will be like, listen, at best,
they will come with their tiki
actually, no, they won't
torches.
even nominate
Jeff
it.
Keighley. They hate Jeff Keighley.
Yeah,
They hate him.
listen. They're gonna nominate Starfield. Sorry, they're gonna nominate Spider-Man if it's a 99 or 92, like you were saying. They will nominate it for like best storytelling, best voice acting, best action adventure, best graphics or something. But they will not put it in Game of the Year. They will they'll be like, nope. It will be nominated for every other category: best soundtrack, best score, everything else. But it will not get the Game of the Year nomination. Okay. No.
Xbox hasn't had a GOTY nominee since Halo 3.
First of all, as much as I don't think that Starfield shouldn't be nominated at all for anything, I don't think that they are going to not let Starfield be nominated. Like, because it's Xbox, because it's Bethesda, because of the history that you just talked about, that they haven't had the Game of the Year nominee since like I don't even know, since I was born, basically.
Live look.
Yeah,
Starfield
is going to be given the backstage access.
Live look at what would happen if Spider-Man were to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Hey, you already know the ponies. PlayStation Nation finna be unbearable. PlayStation Nation finna be unbearable.
These Xbox invaded the house. You need Secret Service. They will grab Jeff Keighley and they be like, yo, we gotta go. Move. They will grab him. Move.
Man.
Hey, yo, this will be a live. Look at
hilarious.
that. They'd be like, God damn it, it's supposed to be Starfield. Oh shit, I think I see guys in the back. Oh shit, stall them out. Yo, this shit would be wild. Oh my god, the internet. I think people would just close their accounts. Oh shit on Twitter. All right. Oh,
I want to see it happen just to see what kind of. I want to see the chaos. That's what it is.
Oh man, you just in it for the chaos. Oh man,
I just want the madness to happen.
Shit. My bad. Shout out to Fatback. Wait, hold on. This is a super chat. Shout out to Fatback Post. Oh Jesus.
Oh man.
He says he said I need my Ace Combat 8. P Rock. J Dub knows. Oh
absolutely.
Shit. Oh shit.
Absolutely. We need a next generation Ace Combat.
Oh man.
The last one was
I played it in VR. Like I didn't even play the regular campaign. I just played the VR mode. Oh my god. Oh,
I had the fight stick and everything. I was ready for that shit.
That shit was so much fun. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But
Jimmy Harrison with the $2.
Yeah, you know what?
He said, LOL, love you, bros, man. He said, great show as always. Shout out to you, brother.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Jimmy Harrison up here? I thought he was coming in. Hey, Jimmy. I thought you were going to come through. I invited him. He said he was going to come through, but he might be too busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah. Hold
on. What do you get him on? I will say this. I'll answer your two questions.
Listen, I love you, bro.
J-Dub, you asked before, did Jim Ryan kind of like dodge a bullet? I don't think he dodged the bullet. I think the PlayStation fan base did. Because, let me tell you, as much as I think that PlayStation Nation is going hard on Starfield because of all the things that it didn't deliver on, if it was an exclusive, I see a lot of them switching. I personally would think it's garbage regardless because I've never, it doesn't affect me. But I think a lot of PlayStation people, if Starfield had been on PlayStation, they would be the ones doing exactly what the Xbox fans are doing, which will be, they will be the ones saying that, it's so great if you do this. It's so great if you do that. People are
I don't think so.
I don't believe in these people. First of all, it still has that whole Bethesda charm thing that people keep talking about. Second of all, if it was a PlayStation exclusive,
PlayStation Nation is different. Listen, PlayStation Nation is different than that, right? Because here's the thing: Bethesda, as a third party, it's a sandbox. It's generally they make sandbox games, right? Where you just kind of do anything, you do whatever you want. It thrives really on the PC because they love modding sandbox. The top 20 games on PC ever is all sandboxes, right? It just is what it is. PlayStation Nation, they got their own first party games that they love dearly. They're highly rated. They're of a certain caliber, right? Graphically, gameplay wise, pushing the limits of technology and everything else. And so PlayStation Nation hold those games and those developers near and dear to their heart. It's hard for a outside company to come in and to be part of that. The closest would be like Square Enix with the Final Fantasies. We kind of take the Final Fantasy and stick it under our wings and kind of cheer that on. But there's no Bethesda game that is going to come in and where we would do that, because we've seen better. We've had better, right? This game would have been.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And the reason I'm pushing back against it is because.
Go ahead.
Look, Ben, you rated an 8 out of 10. Like your case in point of what I'm trying to say.
But
like
I did give you
people
the
make
reason
an
why.
exception. No, but people make exceptions for Bethesda games. So I just think that if it was on PlayStation, they will do the exact same thing, man. Listen, yes, we are used to better.
Based on what Xbox has to offer on their platform. It's like they have nothing else that. I mean, all of their games have been failures, right?
Okay, so if it had been the PlayStation 5 exclusive, what would you have rated it?
It would have been like a fucking 6.5. It would have been, I'm going to be honest, it would have been this game, and I've said this all day today. This game is equivalent to a Forspoken on a PlayStation platform, which I like Forspoken, but it's definitely not GOTY caliber. It's nowhere near of what... You know what I'm saying? You always going to be like, such and such made that. That's not a first party. So you kind of give it, okay, it's okay, right? It would have been on play if it was a PlayStation game. It would have been okay, it's okay, right? Not saying it's bad, horrible, but it ain't fucking Sony level, right? They just make great games that are just of a higher tier with higher quality, and that's just it is what it is. So I don't see that game doing that. I just don't. I mean,
look, I think the one thing. The one thing that I will say is that because it would have been a paid-for title on PlayStation, that would have invited more scrutiny. But when I think about the way that people gave Skyrim an exception and just a complete pass, I'm like,
but that was all. That was 50. That was over 15 years ago. You're talking about almost.
But they are saying the same things. They're saying the same things now. It's the whole.
Yes,
it's the Bethesda charm. It's
because
this. It's that.
Everybody that likes Starfield, they're living in the yesteryear of Elder Scrolls and Skyrim and the rest of they're living in that fantasy world when those games was selling 50 million. They're living in the past, right? They're living in the 360 glory days, and they think that they thought that this game was going to bring some of that charm and bring some of that old 360 vibe back, right? They thought it was going to bring Xbox back from the brink of death, and it didn't. It's a mid game, which is good, right, for Xbox. But if that was on a PlayStation platform exclusively, it would have got the same reception that Forspoken got and some of the other third-party games that don't quite reach that top tier level. It is what it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
guys,
I gotta make an introduction.
Provide an example. I don't have one off the top of my head, but I'm just telling you, I feel like people will be capping for this.
Let me. Oh yeah, it would be easily. Let me make an introduction. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 60 frames no lag podcast. To my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. As part of me being your only friend is these YouTube streets. I want to introduce to you. You seen them in the chat. You seen them in the super chat. You see them in Crossfire supporting some of the best content creators. But for the first time ever, here, don't you forget, because this is what I do. You're going to hear the man, the myth, the legend, Jimmy Harrison. My brother, what is going on? Let the world hear who you are today.
What's going on, my brothers? I've been listening to y'all for a long minute. It's good to meet y'all, man. I mean, what's going on with y'all?
Harrison, this is Jimmy Harrison. You seen his name? You seen him in the community, and he is here live. My man, I say, yo, bro, we need you on that mic. Stop playing. Yo, Jimmy, what's going on, my brother? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I just love Extreme. Jay, I swear, there have been some nights y'all had me crying, like laughing, especially you, Puerto Rock. Y'all be having me in tears, but I'm
Yo.
doing good, man. I'm doing good. I love y'all show, man. You and Crossfire and all y'all.
Yeah, so
Definitely, we appreciate you, brother.
Hey, we appreciate you. You know, we see you in Crossfire. We see you enjoy all the content. I'm thinking, I gotta get this dude on, man. You know what I'm saying? He part of the family. He's always been around. He's been enjoying it. Yo, so how it feels, man? Is this your first podcast? Just lie to me and say yes, so that way you can make me feel good.
No, it's not.
God damn it, bro!
Back in 2011.
Okay, so who gets the credit? Who got the credit? Oh, you used to do a podcast. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, that's different. You did your own shit. He did his own shit.
Yeah, I did. We did a gaming podcast. Back it was called Open Forum Radio, and I used to do the podcast with them in the gaming nights. But with family and stuff like that, man, we kind of veered off, and that was pretty much part of it. So I ain't been on the podcast in a while, so I'm not new to this, so it's all good.
Okay. Oh, there's no doubt. Hey, so I just gave you podcast guest rights. So today you a guest. So of course, J-Dub, J-Dub, get him a beer. Extreme, show him a seat, make him comfortable. Tomorrow, we'll get you McDonald's, get you the chicken box. But tomorrow you on your own.
McDonald's, but it's all good.
Yeah, tomorrow you on your own. Next time you show up when you feel like it, get your own beer. Like you just jump in, all right? You have 100% access. You no longer have.
You ain't got to worry about that. I got liquor now. You ain't got to worry about that.
That's it. Oh, get that Henny. Bring that Henny. You know what I'm saying? Bring that Henny up here. J-Dub likes fine malt liquor. All right, he wants that Jameson. That's his.
Damn, malt liquor. Whoa, I ain't heard that in a minute. Oh, that's good.
Oh shit! But hey, what you think? Hey, let me get your opinion. What is your opinion? Have you played Starfield? Have you played it?
I played it and I stopped. So to be perfectly honest with you, I got about 15 hours in and I stopped because it royally made me mad.
You need a 15 more. It gets good at 30.
No, I'm too old for that.
Jimmy's like, listen, we working on time. We ain't got that much time left to be doing this.
Listen, I'm not knocking nobody's enjoyment for the game. I mean, the game appears to be, if you like that style of game, you're going to love it. But the problem with that game is I don't know if I've phased out of those type of games because I played Fallout 3. I played Skyrim. I played Oblivion. But every time I play this game, I feel like I'm thrusted back to 2011. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but with the games that what they do now and how they actually are implemented, that attribute, I don't know if I can go back to it. And I encountered a game-breaking bug that made me so mad. I just couldn't sink no more time into it. I just quit. I was just done.
Yo, this game reminded Jimmy when he used to go to a club in Studio 54 listening to Prince. This game is having a party like 1999. He like, what the hell is this? This is loading like a PS3 game. Like, what the hell's going on here?
It's like the game. Okay, I will give people say it appears to be a good game. I mean, they do good with some of the writing, but the load screens was killing me, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to push through it. I'm gonna see what it's all about and stuff and things like that. And when you come off something like Final Fantasy 16 or something like that, you're like, man, this is like a step back. At the same time, I mean, I can see why somebody who loves the Fallout series would love something like that. And that's perfectly fine. I just can't see myself sinking more time into it because of the simple fact that it doesn't seem to be utilizing the power. It got boring to me. After a while, it just got slow paced and boring to me. So I just was like, I can't go any farther. And then basically I encountered a side mission that forced me to do it. And if I didn't do it, I was getting decimated, and I by like a fleet of ships, and I could not continue. And I was like, "What the hell is going on here? This don't make no sense." So, in order for me to get through that, I have to go back 3 hours, do that side mission, and then come back to it. I said, "I'm not doing it. I'm done. I can't." Especially with the first Descendant beta coming out in a few days, I'm good.
Oh wow! He said, "That's it."
Yeah, I could do it.
They told me. After putting 20 hours in, they told me that I didn't put enough hours in to have an opinion on the game. And so that's why I put a tweet out saying, how many hours does it take for me to have an opinion? And
wow.
Yeah,
as many as it takes for your opinion to be 10 out of 10.
Open up until like 40 hours or something like that. I say, okay, so basically I got to beat the game and then play New Games Plus mode in order for this game to open up to where I can have an opinion on it. And I said, yeah, that's nah.
Jay, let me ask you something. Did the load screens like tear you apart?
It just
they were killing me.
Okay, so I got this game early, right? I got it before it came out. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I noticed when I booted from the main screen from your main home into the game to where I could actually move the character, I recorded it. It was 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I said, this is a long time for me to sit here and twiddle my thumbs until I'm actually getting to play the game. And so I said, I said to myself, they literally didn't use any power of the SSD or any of the Velocity engine architecture. So I said, why wouldn't they do that for a next gen only game? So I started thinking maybe this game was meant to be a cross-gen game or meant for Xbox One, and then they just ported it over to next gen. But they didn't use none of the features, none of the nothing. I mean, there is clearly no ray tracing. There's no performance modes. There is nothing that says next generation at all in this game, not even the graphics. So that's why I was dumbfounded, and I wanted Digital Foundry to go in depth to figure out how did this game come about, because if this was any other game, if this was a Sony game, I mean, they go in depth, right? They pick it apart. Sony cannot, like, they can't even release a first-party game without having the options and the ray tracing and the instant loading and all this stuff, or else people going to bombard it. So it's like one company has to satisfy the benchmark of being considered next generation, whereas one can just release nothing but 30 frames per second games and nobody asks any questions. Nobody, it's like, like, but I get it. There's a double standard, and it is what it is. That's the price you pay when you're number one, and it is what it is. But this game here, people were telling me the scope. Oh, it's just the scope, and it's just so this and that. And so I put in my 20 hours in, and then after everybody started doing in-depth analysis of it, they realized that the game only loads like a square block of data, and you get to walk 10 minutes, and then you're going to walk into this invisible force field because it asks you to go back to your ship so it can load in more assets, and you have to land back on the same spot so you can go another 10 minutes. So it's chunks.
I got so tired of that.
In chunks. And so that's why you have these loading screens, and it's loading screens everywhere. And here's the thing about it. On the PC, it's not so bad because those load screens are like 1 or 2 seconds. But on consoles, it's like 5 to 6 seconds, and those add up. Everything you do is a load screen, and so that it just puts you back on last generation. It just puts you back on, like, man, it's just, that's just what it is. But the game didn't get knocked for none of that. None of the reviewers knocked the game for any of that, and I'm dumbfounded. Nobody knocked it for being 30 frames a second. Nobody knocked it for having all these load screens. Nobody knocked it for not having ray tracing. Nobody knocked it for not being native for. Nobody knocked it for none of the stuff. And so I'm dumbfounded.
The thing was, I reached like I said, the side mission popped up when I was in orbit, and I had a choice between getting arrested or joining them to do an infiltration mission. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do the infiltration mission, and I'm gonna say the hell with them. I'm gonna table it and go back to the story. Well, if you do that and you do more of the story, the moment you go into orbit, they decimate you. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've never had to be forced to do a side mission. At least I can remember in these type of games. Why are they forcing me to do this? So I'm like, okay, and I sat there and I contemplated, do I even want to go back and do this? Because I have to go back to a 2-hour save. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not knocking nobody's enjoyment who likes it. I'm really not. I mean, if you like it, perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it just, every time, the more I play it, the more I'm like, it drags, and I just couldn't do it. And with that, it gave me to a screeching halt. I just was like, I can't do it. I'm all right. So I'll be on the first Ascended because I'll be on that on PS5 because I know the features that they're offering there. I mean, that's where I'm going to be on that platform, but I just going to put too much more time in this game. So hey, if people that like this stuff, that's them.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Yo, I just put on the screen what they did to Spider-Man. They literally they tried to crucify. Puddle Game was just the beginning. They tried to crucify that game, bro. The nerve, the audacity of these people not holding Xbox accountable for their games, but this is the stuff they literally highlighted. Where are the muscles? Are you kidding me? Yo, this shit is crazy, bro. Oh man, yo,
it's a double standard, and it's not just, I expect that from the bots, but all of these reviewers, even Digital Foundry, like they go so in depth with Sony games, right? They they nitpick any little thing. But with Xbox games, they turn the cheek like, yes, this and that, and yeah, and then it's like, wait, y'all not gonna go in that to the SSD and all? Look, it took them a year. They were still doing SSD comparisons for Ratchet and Clank. A year later, 2 years later, and yet Starfield dropped, and they're like, yeah, great game. And I'm like, bro,
I had a conversation with a coworker, and I told them Microsoft has never been in this position before. And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, let me take you a trip down memory lane. If you go back to the OG Xbox, by this time, we had Crimson Skies, Mech Assault, Splinter Cell, Halo, Bloodweight. You had those experiences. Then when you go into the Xbox 360, you had Cameo, Perfect Dark. You have Gears of War, Dead or Alive 4. You had Oblivion. You had Splinter Cell Double Agent. Then when you go to the Xbox One, oh my gosh, you had Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, Killer Instinct, Rise on the Rome, Forza Motorsport 5, Dead Rising 3. You had things that were showing off what the console can do. And that's why I was like, they've never been in this position where they didn't say, okay, we're going to show you why you bought this thing. And I'm like, I'm hoping that day comes, but I don't know if it will. So it is what it is, man. I mean,
here's the big question mark. Next year, Nintendo will be launching its next iteration of Nintendo Switch. Sony, allegedly, is going to be launching their PS5 Pro. Phil doubled down, said, nah, we ain't got no more hardware. The Series X is your mid-gen. The Series S is your current gen. Deal with it. It is what it is. How are they going to maneuver and operate in an atmosphere where Nintendo and PlayStation is going to continue to dominate and double down on that? Everybody and their mama finna get a Switch 2. Everybody and their mama finna get a PS5 Pro, right? So, now they're already struggling selling Series S's and X's. So it's like, what are they going to do next year going to the end of this generation?
I don't know. My son told me, he said, Dad, you can put my Series S in the living room. We can use it as a streaming device. He plays on his PS5 now.
Shit.
That's all he plays.
Now PlayStation now PlayStation got Roblox. Oh man, that was the last thing Xbox had. Oh, it's over.
That's literally the only reason. That's literally the only reasons my kids got a Series S in their rooms.
For me, it's Minecraft. That's the only reason why he has it. But he's tired of it now.
J-Dub watching his kids play because of Roblox. He's like, man, I swear to God,
that's a wrap.
The day Roblox comes to PS5, you gone. Yep. You gone. And now that day comes.
I don't want to do much talking about Rock Extreme. What you guys say on this?
So what?
What are we talking about? Roblox?
Yeah.
On Roblox? On Roblox or on Starfield or Roblox?
Yeah, the Starfield thing. As far as the new Nintendo Switch next year. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the next topic. But for me, it's for Starfield, and I said in depth, I knew that game was being way overhyped, and I just dropped the video. That overhyped stuff, all the nonsense, they did it to themselves, right? Primarily because, especially when you had real questions, hey, how come, I was just saying, how come this game really can't be played at 60 frames? Because from the videos and everything they demonstrated, I'm like, okay, but it's not bigger than what I already seen. To me, for Horizon Forbidden West, seem more expansive. And you can travel, you can fly, you can go underwater. And they got that game locked at 60. I don't see a damn thing in that game that tells me, oh, you can't run this at 60. And people were like, oh, it's the scale. This is bigger than every PS first-party game combined. Now that the game is out. Really? Are you nuts? Now that shit's a game of Tilex. You got a bunch of tiles going around. Come on. You ain't even really going around the whole planet. I told them, no, you are not going to be loading a whole entire solar system. Are you kidding me? It can't even handle co-op. You're telling me it's going to do all this stuff? Get out of here, bro. You bugging. Like, you know, and that's what's really, you know, that's what the blowbacks come, because they put this game in a position bigger than what it's nowhere near. It is not. It's not a 95, 98 Metacritic game of the gen game. It is not. It is at best average to good game that provides the Bethesda RPG elements that if you're a fan of, you got it. But don't expect this game to push the envelope.
You know what the crazy thing is that there was so many optics on this game because of what Redfall failed to do. And that was another thing, and with the hype, and it just all cylinders had to be firing on this game. Literally, and I knew it was going to be able to do that.
Yeah, and this game was the game to start the trend for Microsoft to compete and go for the title, get some Game of the Years. It failed on all that shit. It's like, hell nah. It didn't mean none of that. You know, the game is just simply average to good at best. You know, Bethesda. If you like Bethesda games, there you go. This is the game for you. Nothing more. It's like Madden. Madden what? Like Madden Metacritic is what? Like 65? Yeah. But guess what? Yeah. Madden gamers are like, I don't care. Wow. I don't care. Yeah. I'm playing Madden, dog. And they love it. They enjoy it. News. And they will whoop your ass in a 65 Metacritic game. What's up? What's the breaking news?
Breaking news. They had a Spider-Man 2 event. And everybody got to play the game, and so everybody's going to be giving their previews this Friday at 8 a.m.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's
they
cool.
literally,
that's cool.
yeah, they're literally, they gave them hands-on time. And this game doesn't launch for until the end of October.
I'm muting
that's
everybody.
Confidence.
I don't want nobody telling me nothing. Everybody's getting muted. Don't tell me nothing.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want anything.
I don't need no goddamn.
Don't nobody give a damn about no Spider-Man.
Let that. Hey yo, Emperor.
Don't nobody give a damn about no preview and no
Emperor.
We just got that masterpiece Starfield just came out. I ain't worried about no damn Spider-Man.
Emperor, I appreciate you, but we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
We ain't worried about web slinging in the same goddamn little sandbox. We ain't worried about that.
Emperor, it seems like every
nobody cares.
Emperor,
yo,
Emperor, it seems like every time
listen, I was trying to listen and just stay out of it, but I got tired of hearing you running your goddamn Sony.
This is why they want to talk about this thing.
Hold up, Emperor.
Not one time did you congratulate Microsoft for having 6 million players in the first launch.
Okay, you know what? Starfield is the game of the generation. Starfield is the best game I've ever seen or heard about. Can we just talk about the Switch? I won't talk about Starfield anymore.
Hold up, Emperor. I just want to say this. Why is it that every time you come on a podcast, Starfield loses a point on Metacritic? You keep coming on this podcast.
You know what?
That's just going to be a 79.
Congratulations, Microsoft. Congratulations. It's the best.
But you know what?
It's the bestest.
But let's move on.
I couldn't imagine anything better.
But no.
I'm done.
We're good. No, Emperor. Hey.
Please.
We're good. I'm Emperor. I'm glad you're here.
It's like a boxing match, Puerto Rock.
No, I'm glad you're here.
Round. Let's move on to the next round. You're still hanging on Starfield. Let it go.
Listen.
Starfield was a W in every facet. Let it go. Just let it go. Move on to the next round.
Listen. Xbox looking like my New York Giants right about now, bro. Just when you think you're doing good.
I don't know about that one. Damn. I don't know about that one.
They're looking like my...
That's delusion with hell.
Listen, bro. Yo. It's down to an 80. This game might not even get nominated now at this point.
Xbox finally won a round. Let them have it.
Let's move on. I'm glad you're here. Let's move on to the next topic. All right. So Nintendo decided to make a console for grown-ups, and it's called the Switch 2.
Oh wow!
And it was at Gamescom. So they decided to stop being sexual deviants. And apparently they demoed Switch 2 at Gamescom privately in Cologne. So the article says in Cologne last month, Nintendo's public Gamescom show floor booth lets you play Pikmin 4 and Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but behind the scenes, the company have more up its sleeves. Developer presentations for Switch 2 took place behind doors, Eurogamer understands, with partners showing tech demos of how well the system is designed to run. One Switch 2 demo is a souped-up version of Switch launch title Zelda Breath of the Wild, designed to hit the Switch 2 beefier target specs. To be clear, though, this is just a tech demo. There is no suggestion the game will be released. Nintendo has yet to publicly discuss plans for its inevitable Switch successor, though its new hardware is widely expected to launch at some point in 2024. Word that it is now being shown to external developers comes as details have begun to emerge around when we may see the system launch. A recent report pinned Switch 2's arrival for the later part of next year, with development kits now in the hands of some key partners. This chimed with what Eurogamer had also previously heard, though on timing I understand Nintendo is keen to launch the system sooner if possible. Publicly, Nintendo has announced a strong lineup of games to see the current Switch through the rest of 2023 and into the start of next year, with impressive-looking Super Mario Bros. Wonder, a Super Mario RPG remake, and a new WarioWare all coming this side of Christmas. 2024 will bring a new Princess Peach game and a poor Luigi's Mansion 2. The long-awaited Metro Prime 4, meanwhile, still holds a to-be-announced launch date. Nintendo did not comment when approached for a response. We're going to start with Baron. Baron.
Yeah.
If they did make a Switch 2, what would you like to see in terms of specs, performance? Like, what would you like from it? Yes, I understand the Nintendo quality games. Yeah, we got all that bullshit.
Listen.
Oh, this guy. Oh, he's gonna come.
What I expect? I expect Metroid Prime 4. My expectations are more on the software side.
No. We ain't trying to hear that bullshit. We're gonna talk about Switch 2.
No, let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying.
This guy capping.
My expectations is more on the software side, because the hardware side, I mean, so much shit has leaked. It is what it is at this point. I don't take anything guaranteed until they say so, because sometimes some stuff get misconstrued. But it's the last time something got leaked from a Nintendo leaker, it was true. And he the one that leaked this new one about the Switch 2 specs. So at this point, it probably just is what it is. It is what it is at this point.
I'm just saying, though.
That's nice to me. I mean, it's cool. That's nice. Packing that type of power, that's cool. But I'm still worried about the software side. We just got a new Zelda. We're not getting a Zelda for the next 5 years. So I want to see what they're doing on the software side. Am I getting some classics bringing back or what? You know what I mean? I need my Metroid Prime 4.
This guy capping.
I just want to see what they're doing on the software side.
Listen, my brother from another mother.
Exactly. I have no fucking shame in saying that.
My brother from another mother.
I want my Metroid Prime 4, and I'm demanding it from him.
My brother.
But also, I want to see what their big feature is. The big feature. They always gonna have a big innovative feature for their console. I wonder what it is. I don't know what it is. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to.
My brother.
4K, 60 frames per second. That's nice. Like I said, that's the icing on the cake, but that ain't the actual cake. I want to see this new feature. I want to see the software
line. What new feature you would like to see? Why you think you switch to? What new feature?
Huh?
What, you want Labo? You want a cardboard box? You want take cans?
Every system there's a specific feature they have for it, so I don't know what it could be.
I'm just saying, aren't you tired on playing a device that's as powerful as a PS3 Pro?
Another gimmick. He wants another gimmick.
Don't you want something above 540p?
There's always a big gameplay type feature for every Nintendo console. It's not going to change.
They got a VR. They talked about.
But what's the big? Hold on. What's the big? Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. What's the big game? What's the big gameplay feature for the Switch?
That is a hybrid console. That's the big feature of it. You can't say it's a hybrid console again. That you already did that feature, so it's going to be something different.
That hybrid console moniker is bullshit. Stop playing. You could play goddamn Vita on the TV. That didn't make it a hybrid console.
Oh Lord, have listen.
It's not like
some big feature.
It's not like
the console has always been sold on a big feature of the console.
Listen. It's not like hold on. Listen. It's not like hold on. It's not like the docking station actually did anything. It was just an oversized HDMI port. It didn't do anything.
Listen. I think the writing was on the wall when they signed that 10-year Call of Duty contract, and they said it's going to be the same game, content-wise and parity-wise across on Nintendo platforms. Yeah, so that already told me right there that the system was already going to be
the same version. Yeah, they said it's going to be.
It was already
the mobile version. You're going to get the mobile version.
No,
I'm playing.
Go back and look at that agreement. It was worded that way for a reason. So I already kind of figured that was the route they was going to go. But I want to see what the big.
I'm hoping. Is that like I'm hoping there's some.
Is that like a selling feature for you?
Huh?
Is that like? I just want to say first off, what's up, my man? It's first time meeting you, but is that like a selling feature for you? Is like you want to see the big feature that they're going to come out with?
Yeah,
this dude hyped. Okay. This dude hyped the Wii, bro. He tried to pretend he was enjoying Call of Duty.
Listen, you can talk shit all you want about the Wii, but the Wii was the shit when it first came out. So my introduction
to gaming YouTube was this man playing with the Wii. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? Like, this community is bugging.
Now that was good times. But I just want to see what the big feature is.
I have a question.
We Lover, all these dudes were out there capping.
No what you expect?
I'm gonna say this.
What do we think we're getting?
I'm hoping. Oh, this was me. I would like.
I have no idea.
Upscale. I would like upscale. I would like upscaled 4K because I don't think it's gonna do native, which is cool. I would be happy with upscale or even 1440p. I'll take fucking 1440p. I would take 1440p.
Upscale 1080p.
Upscale. He said upscale 1080p. It said I'll take 1440p, upscale, DLSS, all that shit. 60 frames. I'm good.
Upscale 1080p.
I'll take. He said upscale 1080p.
I've been so spoiled by technology. I would like to see them go into that realm, but I don't know if they're going to do that.
DLSS 5 and all that shit. DLSS 5, 60 frames, 1440p, upscale 4K.
Can I tell you the feature that I want?
That's
if you're going to talk about a unique feature.
That's it.
I want an external GPU dock. So that when I connect it to the dock, it is more powerful than when it is in handheld mode.
Yes, that's what I would love.
So cool.
Now, what's funny about that? I actually thought about that because they did something similar to that with the 64 and an expansion pack.
Remember that? Yes.
Like maybe the dock can be something that like the expansion pack was back in the day.
They actually make a dock that does something.
Extra power. So it's like
or
that's what I was thinking. I don't
make a dock that actually does something. Yes, I agree.
How about right? For those who like the mobility of the Switch, there's that option. But those who just like a tethered experience, like from a console, just have a little box that has the same chipset and stuff in there, but just have it a little bit more powerful GPU or whatever, so we can get the 60 frames and the resolution and stuff like that. It's still playing the same games.
I would love that.
So, you know,
I would love that. You got your regular tablet, but once you put in a dock.
The price don't have to be that much different because when you buy the Switch, you're really paying for the screen and all the other stuff and the battery and all the stuff behind it, right? But you're eliminating the battery, you're eliminating the screen, you're eliminating the Joy-Cons. And
you mean you come up with two devices? You come with two devices. You're talking about two scoops. One handheld.
He's saying like.
One handheld and one dedicated device.
Just have the dock have extra components to it that boosts the power, not just have it two separate things.
What are you talking about, J-Do? Wait, J-Do, are you talking about a boosted dock or are you talking about a standalone device?
I'm talking about a boosted dock device.
You're talking about standalone. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're not going to do a standalone. I wish. But they're not.
So to boost the dock, right? To boost the dock, they're still going to use the CPU. They're still going to use the CPU and the memory and stuff that's in the handheld. That still has to be limited, but because it runs off of a battery, right? It still has to use. It still's going to have the even the limitations from a GPU aspect. It's still going to have heat thermal limitations. So, I think by having a separate device for those that want it, I don't think that's going to undercut the Switch. You're going to get your money in both places. For those who want,
they're not.
I just don't.
They're not going to segregate their fan base like that. It's not going to happen. A boosted dock is the only thing that can actually be plausible.
Yeah, I can see a boosted dock. To be perfectly honest with you,
they're not going to separate their fan base.
Is that dock going to cost
$300 extra? Yeah.
Right?
No, I'm saying I think
this is Nintendo.
It's Nintendo. It's all going to come together. That's number one.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's all going to come together. But what the price is, we don't know. The wild guess I can say with the feature is that...
Here's what I will say. I would like the handheld to be in the $350-$400 range because I would want it to be a more upmarket product. And then it should come with the basic dock, which is the overgrown HDMI port. That's just what everybody gets. Then, if you want more power, you can get a Pro dock, and then that one will come bundled with like a Pro controller or something, and then that will also now boost your frames per second or whatever it is, just like a very basic boost. Basically, be what the PS4 Pro was to the PlayStation 4, and then that will guarantee you that 60 frames per second in most games at some dynamic resolution. And I understand that it will have like thermal limitations, but they could put an extra fan in there or whatever. Like for the people that want that, they will put up with fan noise and everything. But I don't think they're going to segregate the fan base, because look at what look at what Microsoft did. If you separate the fan base into having a dedicated console that is not a handheld, then suddenly features that use the rotation of the handheld and everything, those will be put into question, because now a developer has to choose how much do I support the person's ability to invert the tablet versus the person that will just be playing on the couch. And inverting your controller is possible, but it's just not as natural feeling as when you have the tablet in your hands. So I think they would avoid having a standalone console. Even though if they offered it, I would always get a standalone console. I have no interest in having the actual Switch. But for me, I think the best compromise would be give everybody a basic dock, just like you did before. Give the rest of us a professional, higher end dock that will have internals. And then give everybody the standard handheld. And this time around, make the Switch Lite compatible with the dock. Like the Switch Lite should just be like you can't remove the joysticks, but you shouldn't take away performance.
I think we have to keep our expectations in check, because there's a price limitation of what Nintendo fans will pay for a Switch or whatever. I think $350 is that limit. Maybe push it to $399. Maybe. Right at the high end limit, but you also have to
a price limitation for Nintendo fans?
There is for everything.
Nintendo fans.
That's why I agree with Jay. Is that I haven't been really following this too much, because they're going to do what they want to do, especially for their fan, especially for Nintendo Land. I know they're not going to. They're not going to. They may look at the hardcore to a certain extent, but they are not going to exclude it in Nintendo Land. That's why I've been like, I'll see what I see at this point. So.
Yeah, it's not just because you got to think about it. We've been hearing about them running the Matrix demo with the ray tracing and stuff. We heard rumors about them running a special version of Breath of the Wild that showed off some of the other techniques and stuff that they're doing. We've heard about some other things that they've been running. And my thing about it is it has to meet the price match that is going to be expandable. Meaning that people are going to be willing to buy. As well as look at devices that are handhelds. Look at the Asus ROG Ally that I have. Look at the Steam Deck. Those consoles are like $699, right? But the performance is up to par. You're getting your 60 frames. You're getting
but they're not. I'm sorry, but I think Nintendo could sell the Switch at $600 easily. Like it's Nintendo. No, it is Nintendo. I'm sorry. Who's going to say no?
Debatable.
Who's going to say no to Mario? All they will have to do is basically sell you a Switch Lite alongside it. They could sell you the base Switch at $600, and then a Switch Lite at $350, and then people will be like, "Yeah, it's Nintendo." Like, I'm sorry.
Listen, I get it.
Nintendo. You know why you sound like J-Dub? You sound like the person that was like, "Nah, mobile phones would never cost $1,000." Like, I'm sorry, that's what it sounds like to me.
No, but Ian, let me tell you.
Now we have phones for $2,000.
The reason why
because of Apple.
But so that's different, because phones at this point, like I bought my house primarily using my phone. So now phones is almost like you can make money. It's world building. It's pretty much runs people's lives.
It's a mandatory device.
It manages bank accounts.
But you don't have to buy the $2,000 one. But they sell
a 50. I know. I'm just saying, like people buy the 2,000, 1,500, whatever. But phones have so much. Nintendo still,
Jay, while I see some truth to what you're saying. The only reason why I would side with Extreme a little bit more to say it is debatable. Don't ever underestimate the power of a gamer. When they want something, they'll buy it. So that's the only reason I would say it's debatable.
I agree with that, but I say that's no different than PS3. People bought it. It's just not a lot. It wasn't until it hit $300. It wasn't until it hit $300
let me put it
that
this
it
way.
finally took off.
This way. First of all,
but
$600 isn't what $600 back then was. So we have to think of that. But only the only other thing is, listen, people buy the $1,500, $2,000 phones when they have millions of options that they could go with. There are dozens upon hundreds of phones they could go for cheaper. If Nintendo priced the console at $600 and it's the only option to play Mario and Zelda and Animal Crossing and everything else, like, I'm sorry guys, like, what kind of land are you living in where you think people aren't gonna buy it?
Yeah, but there were consoles that didn't sell. That was the only place you had Mario, Zelda. Like Wii U didn't sell.
Yeah.
GameCube
but the Wii U was a bad product. Like, the Wii U wasn't going to sell at $100 because it was just confusing.
GameCube didn't sell.
Products.
GameCube didn't sell.
But have any of them failed because of price?
Hey, if you don't shut the hell up.
But what I'm saying is,
here's the bottom line. Whatever it is, this is my realistic expectations. Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure it'll be on par with the Steam Deck. That's my expectation. If it's better than that, cool. I'm all for it.
How much is Steam Deck? How much is Steam Deck?
But I'm telling you, it's not going to cost more than $400. And I'm telling you, there's always going to be a system feature that they're going to hone in on. I don't know what that is. We just have to figure out what it is.
Hey, how much is Steam Deck?
Nintendo could sell a $600 console easily. If they put at $500, I don't think anyone's going to
not going to sell it
from
for
the
$600.
Nintendo cap.
They're not going to be $600.
No, I don't think they will sell it for $600. I'm saying that they could sell it for $600.
Yeah, how much?
They probably could. They could, but they're not going to do it because.
How much is Steam Deck though? How much is Steam Deck?
I don't know how much. The cheapest one with the 64 gigs you can get for
give us the middle. Give us the middle, isn't it? Because the cheapest one is always just to get you in. Give us the middle.
But how many gigs? But how many?
So you're telling me that Valve can sell something at $550 and you think Nintendo can't sell something at $500 or $600?
No,
you're crazy.
I didn't say they couldn't. I'm just telling you they're not going to do that.
No. I agree that they're not going to do it, but I'm saying that they fully could do it, and it wouldn't be a PS3 situation where only
they can sell it at $1,000. To be honest with you, they can sell it. They can sell it at any price they want to, but they're really not.
The problem is they want to. Right now, they've sold over 120 million Switches. Right? They want to do it again. In order for them to do that again, it has to be at that price that everybody and for Nintendo. $299 is that sweet spot every day of the week, and they will sell 140 million fucking units. But at $699, at 500, 600, 700, you can forget it. They'll sell maybe.
At 500, they're matching the Switch one.
No, because people are gonna say, "I'll just go ahead and get a fucking PlayStation."
How much did the Switch come out for? Actually, it hasn't been
$299.
It came out for $399.
$399.
The OLED model.
No, it was $299. Oh, you're right. It was $299. Yeah, so it came out at $299.
This is why I'm telling you, it's not going to be more than $399. It's going to be $400.
Exactly. I think it'll be $350. I think it'll be $350, maybe $399. They'll push it if like Baron said, if they have a gimmick, a new gimmick that everybody that they can really sell it off of. This is the new, like the Wii. The Wii, it was the touch screens, right? The touch, the fucking Joy-Cons. That was the gimmick of it, right? You can have it in handheld mode, and you can dock it, and you can play with your family and stuff with them. That was the gimmick. So that latched on. If they come up with something new that latches on, they could push it an extra $50, but they cannot make it $1 more than $399 because they're going to put off a ton of people that could potentially buy the system day one. $299 is that sweet spot where it'll sell 100 million copies easy. For every $50 above that, you're shrinking your sell base.
Right? I have never disagreed with you more. I'm sorry, but the Switch, like Nintendo, can sell anything for $500. I'm sorry,
they really can't. I'm saying that as a.
And when I say this, I mean people will not buy it reluctantly, and I don't even like Nintendo products.
$500, I would buy it. Yes, but again, listen, we're talking about trying
Then
to
what
sell.
What are you talking
100
about?
million.
Then you said you would buy it at 500. So why you even?
Yes,
why you even
that's
arguing?
me. No. What I brought up was how many copies they want to sell. If they want to repeat the Switches selling of 120 million and 130 million, that price can be nowhere near $500, $600. It can't.
No. I'm sorry. If Xbox can sell a $500 console and 20 million,
how many?
But they can't.
If Xbox can do it, Nintendo can.
Let me ask you this. With the landscape that's changed with Nintendo and what they were able to do with Breath of the Wild 2, the remaster, actually it's a remake of Metroid, do you not think they can get away with actually selling it with $1 more? With a higher price?
They can.
No, they can't. If listen, it'll sell, but it won't sell 100. Listen to the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make the amount of units would sell. Nintendo could sell something for 1,000 and it would sell, but it's damn sure it's not going to sell the amount that a regular Switch will, right?
Well, I'll say this.
The amount of units are going to sell.
I'll say this. If they launch, let me make a real quick point. If they sell it at 500, I think they could do it initially, but the console will need price drops. They wouldn't be able to do what they did this gen, where they had zero price drops on any of their consoles, on their handhelds. Which I never seen them before, and they were successful at it. This is the first time I have not seen a price drop, and they still sell no different than launch. If they launch at 500, they're going to have to do some price drops. They will not be able to sustain $500 for 5 years. It just can't. So if they do launch at 500, like this. It will be the classic launch at 500, and then at a certain point, 450, then 400, then 350. So it depends if they want to go back to that route again. But I don't see launching at 500, and then like they say they launch in 2024 at 500, and the console still being sold for 500 in 2029. I don't see that shit happening.
It all depends on the software standpoint. That's what made the Switch not drop a price, because the software just kept coming out and there was no point.
But it was a good price. $299. Yeah. But $299 is a good price though. It is a good price when you think about it. It's not a lot.
But the software, at the end of the day, the software still drives the hardware out of the store.
It does. But again, how many copies of something you want to sell? Like they might say, listen, we'll sell this thing for $500, $600, but we won't be able to sell 130 million. Maybe we'll be able to sell 50 million, right? It'll kind of be equivalent. Maybe that's their thought process. As long as we
see what you're saying, Jay.
The same amount of money, it'll be less amount that we sold, but we're making more money, so that kind of evens out. Versus
I see what you're saying, Jay.
Product, we're selling way more of them.
Yeah, they want to stay on the same level playing field. Like if they go up that high price, I see what you're saying. If they go with that high price, they're saying, hey, we want to stay with that 50 million that we were selling with the Switch. So we want to stay with that. So I can see what you're saying if they don't want to raise the price. So I can see that happening.
And you're going to be paying them $70. You think these Switch 2 games are going to be $60?
Hell no, they $70 already. They $70 already.
70, you wow.
Cheers of the Kingdom.
You know them games.
The greatest game of all time is $70 on Switch. So
every game is going to be $70 on Switch too. So get ready.
Every game.
Oh shit. Now let me segue into this, because Apple's like, you know what? We tired of Nintendo's bullshit. We coming in. So the iPhone 15 got announced, and this mofo is playing AAA quality. It's playing games the Switch can't even play. So it says right here, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Assassin's Creed Mirage coming to iPhone 15 Pro. Apple's bringing true console gaming. You hear that, Baron? True console gaming to the iPhone.
My son told me that. I thought he was joking.
Let me let you.
Let me read this. It says Apple's Wonderlust event on Tuesday was all about the iPhone 15 and the Apple Watch, including some interesting mobile gaming features. That is if you buy an iPhone 15 Pro, which that's what they're getting. Powering the new Pro lineup of iPhones is the A17 Pro chip, which Apple revealed during Tuesday's show. The new processor takes the upcoming iPhone Pro to a new level in mobile gaming with better graphic performance and ray tracing. Can Switch do ray tracing? a technology that displays realistic light in video games. Because of the powered-up chip,
Damn, they said all that.
the console versions of Resident Evil Village,
They gotta
Resident
make
Evil
it
4
sound good.
Remake, Death Stranding, and Assassin's Creed Mirage will come to the iPhone 15 Pro in the coming year, Apple said. While Apple has long boasted its iPhones are capable of console-quality gaming, this is the first time full versions of so-called AAA console games have been available on the mobile platform. So, Parent, this is the question I gotta ask you. How does it feel that an iPhone 15 Pro gamer will play Starfield at better frame rates than you on your Xbox?
I don't care, honestly. I don't care.
He like, you good, bro? I'm good, bro. I'm good. But what do y'all think about that? Listen, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just say this real quick, and now I'm gonna let y'all talk about it. I actually am happy because to me, this is a big FU to you cloud gamers. Because there is no way you're gonna tell me that cloud gaming, cloud streaming is better than native phone gaming with AAA quality games in your phone, no internet required, straight from the hardware. Booyah! Anyway, I'll let y'all have the mic.
This, I'm gonna be honest. Nintendo has to be very weary of this, and listen. Because the iPhone is compatible with your DualSense, with the best controller, the best selling accessory in the world, right? It has a USB-C port, right? So clearly, you take your phone, you plug it up to the HDMI on your TV. Now you're gaming at 4K with ray tracing and all the bells and whistles of full-blown AAA console experience. Whereas on a Switch, you know what I'm saying? You're getting them 15 frames a second, them 360p games, and you know, in the last generation experience. This is a shot over the bow to Nintendo and Xbox. They better watch it. I'm telling you, they better watch it.
I heard this before, right? You know when I heard this before? It was a thing called Google Stadia. I heard this whole spiel before. What happened to that?
Yeah, but Google Stadia, Google Stadia is cloud gaming. This trash house. This ain't cloud gaming. I just told you, cloud gaming's trash.
Bruh,
cloud streaming's trash.
Listen, I know cloud streaming is bad. I'm glad it's on its way out. I'm team physical all the way. But listen, man. Look. Y'all just got to give it up. Just give up the dream of Nintendo ever being in danger. They're never going to be in danger.
Why is your tone? Why is your tone?
The most dominant. Sony the first time.
Listen, they have the most dominant and the most popular first-party franchises on the planet. They're never going to be in danger. So we could just get over that. They're not worried about what the fuck Apple is doing with their goddamn phone. It ain't going to matter until Apple sells 40 million copies of a first-party title, another 30 million copies of another first-party title, another 40 million of another first-party title. Then Nintendo will probably be worried. Other than that, they're not going to be worried about that.
While I hear what you're saying, those first-party titles are just juggernauts, man. It's going to be hard to knock them off the map.
That's true. That ain't no lie. That's no cap.
Yeah. Well, we kind of said that we said that before, but then the Wii U came along, and so you can't listen. As good as Nintendo's first party games are, let's not act like they're infallible. Like they can't, like these motherfuckers on any given day, right, is at the brink of death. So, and with everything that's going around them,
Lord,
they can't just sit there. Listen, they don't have online, they don't have party chat, they don't have none of that. And I know Nintendo, they sit there and act like they're in this little bubble and they're shielded from everything. There is just a matter of time before somebody comes in, right, and just it is what it is. So I'm just saying, Nintendo,
I'm gonna say this. Look. Stop this old fucking Sunday reverend speech. Any given Sunday. I want to hear that shit. Listen, the reality is, man, look, until somebody can match Nintendo's first party lineup blow for blow, they will never be in real danger. It's just that simple. Until somebody can actually put out franchise games that can actually put these other franchises in danger, it's never going to happen. That's just the reality of it. Now the Wii U was an anomaly because first of all, it was not it was not marketed great at all. It had the stupid ass name. I don't even know why they named it that, to be honest with you. But the console itself and the feature was pretty dope. It's just nobody ever gave it a chance, and that's just their fault. They took that L, they moved it along, and now they're breaking records with every single franchise they own on Switch. That is historic. Nobody has ever done that. Every single franchise has broken a record on Switch. That's crazy. Every single last one of them. So they're not worried about what Apple is doing. It's just simple as that. Until Apple have a franchise that's going to sell 40 million each time they put something out, they ain't worried about it.
I will say this. I've got to go soon, so let me just say my final piece. Then I'm gonna get out. Yeah. I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, the Switch and the iPhone, as capable as the iPhone might be, I just don't think it talks to the same addressable market. This whole thing about the iPhone being able to play Death Stranding and Assassin's Creed Mirage and everything, I'm sorry, but people that want to play those experiences don't want to play them on the phone. I believe that the Venn diagram of people who want to have touch-based controls, and I don't mean on the phone with an external gamepad or whatever, but I mean just like on the phone screen, those experiences are not made for the phone screen, even if you have an external gamepad. I just don't think that they cross over much. I don't think there's 10 million gamers out there that are like, yeah, I want to play God of War, Horizon, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Death Stranding, and the primary screen I want to play that on is my phone. I just don't believe it. So,
yeah, the amount of time and extensive time.
I actually agree with you on
Assassin's Creed. Wow.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that with the Switch, the thing, like, I get it because the Switch itself is a handheld, so you're like, that's the console that you would automatically think about. But the thing is, not only does it have a bigger screen, which does matter, but also those games are protected under the IP that Nintendo owns. People would want to play a Mario game on their phone, but Nintendo isn't going to give you that. So as long as they hold on to the software license, it doesn't matter. Now, if there was a world where Nintendo put their games out on iPhone and you could play the latest and greatest Nintendo IP on your iPhone or your Nintendo handheld device, then I think they have to be worried, because then people will be like, well, I'm just downsizing the screen a little bit. I can attach a backbone, and then if I can play Mario on that makes sense. But they're not going to do that.
I think you're kind of missing the point of that. The point is not to play it on your phone. It's using your phone to play it. Think about it. It has native DualSense controls, right? So everyone has a fucking PlayStation 5 controller. It's just native. So you set your phone down, you plug it into your TV, and you have that full console.
Everyone has a
experience.
PlayStation 5 controller?
Yes,
I don't know
everybody.
about that.
There's over 50 million.
Don't know about that one, boss.
PS5 owners.
I don't know about that.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, okay, but even if you do
stretch.
that, what do you mean by plugging into your TV?
It has a USB-C port, which has the HDMI. You just plug it in.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, what is this Venn diagram of a gamer that recognizes that, okay, I want to play it on a big screen, but then also I want to have it in this small screen, and also I'm going to play this console game, and I'm going to need a PlayStation or an Xbox or another external gamepad, and on top of that, remember the iPhone 15 Pro is so expensive that they could have just bought the console originally. So it's not like you can say like, oh, they just wanted only one device. Like, what is this Venn diagram?
iPhones are the most. Listen, here's the thing. This is where your argument fall apart. iPhone is the most popular phone in the world, right? It's one of the most expensive phones in the world. That doesn't stop hundreds of millions of people from buying iPhones every single year when they drop, right?
But most of the world doesn't buy like the latest and greatest iPhone. First of all, most of the world doesn't buy the highest end iPhone, which this is what it's talking about. And second, again, what is the Venn diagram of the gamer that is like, okay, I want a big screen experience? Because you talked about the phone and you're like, oh, you're going to plug it onto your big TV. And that's the part that throws me off, because I'm like, who is this gamer that's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to pay for this $2,000, $2,500 phone but I want to play console-like games, so I'm gonna need this external gamepad from another company, and at the same time, I'm gonna need this USB-C to HDMI adapter for my TV, or I'm gonna need a TV with AirPlay, but I'm not gonna buy the console.
Ain't no gamer gonna do all that.
Who is this? Yeah, who is this gamer?
J-Dub, another thing you gotta understand is a gamer gonna spend that much time with like an Assassin's, because the Assassin's Creed games have been known to go 40+ hours. Is somebody gonna look at their phone screen playing it though like that?
This is where you guys fail. Every time when people bring up the phone thing, this is where you guys fail to realize anyway. This iPhone 15 will sell out. Just like the iPhone 14, just like the iPhone 13, 12, 11, 10. It's going to sell out regardless, right? Regardless of what M thinks about it. It's going to sell out, right? So
wait, hold on. I didn't say it wasn't going to sell.
No, listen.
I'm talking about from the gaming perspective.
No. Okay, before we get to the gaming perspective, let's face it. Everybody and their mama will have an iPhone 15 because everybody and their mama had an iPhone 14 and they had every iPhone before that, right? So it doesn't matter. People are not going out to buy this specifically to play fucking Death Stranding, right? So I'm not even coming from that angle. That's not even an argument. Nobody goes out to buy a phone specifically to play fucking gaming, right? But because you have a phone, because it's an iPhone, because you've been in the ecosystem, because you like iPhones, or because you just decide to try iPhone, the capability is there. And because the capability is there, you can if you want to. It's just literally what it is. But because that capability is there, have a DualSense controller, or the capability is there, the capability is going to get used, or even if it's just to demo it, right? Let's say it doesn't take off this iteration, but to dismiss what this can do and what this can do in the future, I think is a fool's errand. Because the fact
I'm not
that you
even
got
dismissing it. I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying that this Venn diagram of I'm saying that this Venn diagram of gamer does not exist. I'm not dismissing what the capabilities are. And by the way, I said the same thing about Google Stadia. I said it's not a problem with the technology. I said the problem is the market doesn't exist. There is no gamer that wants to stream a console-like experience on the whatever it is, and are going to pull up with the pricing structure and all of the downsides that Google Stadia inherently had built in. I said this for years before it shut down. I was like, this thing is dead on arrival. This gamer does not exist. This is the same thing with the iPhone 15. I'm not saying anything about the phone. I'm not saying anything about the price of the phone or how it was going to. I understand it's going to set out. But the thing is, I'm saying that when you pit it against a Nintendo Switch, it doesn't make sense. When you pit it against an Xbox, even the potato, it doesn't make sense. When you pit it against a PS5, it doesn't make sense. Because that gamer that wants the next God of War or the next Death Stranding or the next whatever it is, they are not going to go like, I already have an iPhone 15 Pro, I guess I'll make this my ecosystem. Like, that doesn't happen.
Oh, here's the thing. If you have an iPhone, and by the way, I'm just going to assume you're an Android guy, right? You're an Android guy.
Of course.
I just kind of figure, right? You're an Android guy, so
you gotta Android is superior.
My bad. Yo,
Android is the superior fucking device.
He's
so what are you trying to do?
The passive aggressive tone. Yeah. You're an Android guy, right? I could tell.
It's okay. I heard it, but I just let it go.
You can hear it in his voice.
Everybody else, right? He's
like, hey, do you really? Yo, J-Dub's like, do you really belong in this restaurant? Are you sure this is the place for
you? Listen. That's just like it's literally like I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of iPhone users and the amount of like, dude, Apple is just that company. They're the equivalent.
But
to
I don't underestimate them. That's the thing, though. You keep talking about the performance of the device, but I'm like, it's not the device, it's the market, it's the people. Okay. Who wants to be the one to do this? It's the same thing when I was talking to people about Google Stadia. They just kept telling me the technology will get better, and I'm like, it's not the ecosystem I'm talking about. It's not the devices I'm talking about. It's the people who has the habit of. I'm going to use my iPhone 15 Pro as the heart of my gaming console gaming life.
You're not buying an iPhone 15 to play Death Stranding. You're buying an iPhone 15 to have a phone. It's a phone. You were going to buy it anyway, even if it had none of this, even if it had none of the ray tracing. You were going to buy it anyway. We were going to buy it anyway, right? But because the capability is there, if you decided to, you can take advantage of that. And that is, for most people, especially if you're a gamer, you might say, let's see what this shit about. And if it actually works, and if it's it is a native experience. You kind of said the same thing. You had these same reservations about the Project Q, or what we call now the Portal, the PlayStation Portal. Yeah. And yet, I and many others went out day one as soon as pre-order was available and bought that because it fits the needs of us. It's not the needs of M or
you don't shut up about that,
right? But it's for us. I'm just saying, it's just like VR.
Okay.
VR is so expensive. But
I've got to go. But listen, my final point is, I just want to clarify before I go. Listen, my point was that the phone and what it does is cool, and I think I'm very excited for it. And I agree that it can work and that it does work. What I'm saying is, when you first put your pitch out that this is going to somehow put Nintendo on watch, that's what I don't see happening, because I'm like, this doesn't this doesn't affect gaming platforms at all.
I'm gonna say it does. But J-Dub didn't
I'm
do
gonna
a good job.
catch up with you guys.
All right.
And
but I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why. Right. So in order to understand, look at Switch. Switch sold over 100 million, and has incredible first party sales. But those games do not sell to 100% of the gamers, right? So it's reasonable that many people have Switch just on the merit because it's portable gaming. Yep. Not just specifically because of Zelda, just in general, they got a nice portable gaming, so they buy it. They might play Zelda, they might not. They might play Mario, they might not. They might be on, any other game, Apex, whatever, multiplayer game, whatever. They might get some, third-party game here and there. They might get a poker game, whatever. But generally, Switch does a very good job of being a very good mobile gaming platform. Okay?
Yeah.
Probably the best that's out there. Okay? When you have products like PlayStation's trying to push PlayStation Portal, cloud streaming, and all this stuff on phones, they're trying to push mobile gaming. But right now, arguably, the very best who's done it and who is doing it is Nintendo, right? Nintendo got two angles.
Yep.
They got their first party, which that alone will make people buy any Nintendo product for the most part, right? But then Nintendo does a fantastic job of a mobile gaming platform. And it's arguably the best of all time. No other platform has been able to top it. The closest was maybe PSP, but that wasn't even close, right? But what iPhone could potentially do is disrupt that. Because if you can get a phone, which is something you're going to have anyway, just by right of a smartphone, and it can dub as an actual great mobile gaming experience, then some people may not get the Switch. Not because of Zelda, whatever. Maybe they don't like Zelda. Like I said, Zelda Breath of the Wild sold like 40, 50 million, but that also means 50 million people didn't buy Zelda. You understand? Some people bought a Switch because it's a great mobile device, so they have no issues not getting a Switch if they could have a device that finally does a great job and is their phone already. You understand what I'm saying? True. And that's where iPhone could disrupt. Maybe not huge. It's not going to be the end all be all because, again, Nintendo has a huge crowd because they have their first party. But for those gamers that bought a Switch just on the merit that it's a great mobile device, they take it on the go, they enjoy it, they travel, just on the merit that it's a great mobile device, iPhone can take that market. iPhone can also... let me add some more. iPhone can also abolish the nonsense of cloud gaming. You ain't got to worry about that bullshit. It can also abolish the nonsense of PlayStation Portal. Making it to where if you get a PlayStation Portal, the only reason is because you want to play PlayStation first party. But if you want on the go, that's it. But if you want good AAA quality gaming on the go, I'm not getting a Portal. My iPhone does that. You see what I'm saying? And that's the what was the word that you used? The Zenith or whatever fancy word he was using. That's the people who want good quality mobile gaming.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's already for the first time on a device they normally own anyway, which is a smartphone. Anyway, they got the device anyway, and that's a potential.
The one thing I will say is that the one thing I would say is what will be the big mystery is we can't underestimate Apple and their engineers and what they can pull off. So we'll have to see. So.
Yeah. So that's where I think the market's at. People who want good mobile gaming, and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
For the first time, one device, like there's people with smartphones and the Switch. They have both because you got the smartphone to do smartphone things, and you got the Switch because it's a great mobile gaming device. But now you ain't gotta carry two things. One device does it all.
Porter, listen, bro. Listen, that sound all cute and everything. That's nice for a little dialogue on Dr. Phil or some shit. But let's be honest with you. Phones are never going to become the primary dedicated gaming device of people who game. It's just simple as that.
I can't say that.
Mobile phones in this gaming market is for people to play mobile type games in short bursts. That's all they want to do. Everybody that I've seen that is not a true gamer that plays any game on their phone, whether it be PUBG or the Call of Duty Mobile or even Candy Crush or something simple like that, they just want to play something in passing. Small little short bursts in passing to kill some time or whatever they're doing. If they're at work or they're in a line somewhere, phones are never going to be looked at as a dedicated gaming device.
Well, let me ask you something.
It's always going to be looked at as a phone. It's never going to be that thing. Nobody really wants to play those console quality games on them small ass goddamn phones. That's the number one thing. That's the only thing EM really honed on that makes so much sense. Nobody wants to go through all that rigmarole to plug up a fucking controller and plug it into the just buy a fucking game console. No, you gotta understand, consumers are very fucking simple. It has to be simple for them. Nobody's gonna want to play no goddamn Resident Evil remake, and they're gonna choose it to play it on a goddamn phone over playing on a TV and a console.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with. That's why I didn't say console gamers or home gamers. I said mobile gamers. Like, what's the difference between a Vita or a PSP?
The mobile gaming
and a
market is very different than the regular gaming market. I realized that after watching them for a while, they're not the same as us.
Oh, I agree.
They're totally different animals.
I agree.
They
my
like
wife
different type of games, bro.
I absolutely agree. That's my wife. My wife's the mobile market. She doesn't like that game, right? But now, if you're a mobile gamer, and I'm not talking about console gamers, I'm talking about mobile gamers, gamers who like the Vita, who like the PSP, who like the Nintendo 3DS, whatever. Now you got a smartphone that provides console quality game or mobile high level, not these bullshit phone games, but an actual games that are worth of shit. Why wouldn't a mobile gamer enjoy that? I'm not talking about console gamers and all that, just mobile gamers.
Listen.
You ain't got these bullshit money transaction Candy Crush bullshit, like an actual
for you. You gotta understand. You gotta understand. You mix two groups together that don't belong together. People who buy a Switch or people who bought a Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, they're still part of the regular gaming market. They're not part of that mobile gaming market I'm talking about. Those mobile gaming market are pretty much straightforward people who want to play stuff for 5 to 10 minutes. They're not the core gaming market. People who buy DS and 3DSs and Switches and stuff like that, the majority of those people are still part of the core gaming market.
All right, let me ask you this. What's the difference between, let's say we'll go back to this. What's the difference between a gamer that's playing Metal Gear on the Vita and a gamer who's playing Metal Gear on an iPhone?
The phone.
What would be the difference between the two?
Nothing.
Well, here's the difference though.
What's the difference?
The guy who's playing the game, he was playing Metal Gear on the Vita, is definitely not the same gamer that's playing Metal Gear on the iPhone.
Why not? But why not?
I guarantee you that.
Why not? But why not? Why?
I guarantee you that. Nobody who's a dedicated gamer like that is going to play Metal Gear. If they have an option to play Metal Gear on 5 different options of 5 different platforms, they're not going to choose the mobile phone. Just like you, if you had an option to play the next God of War 3, and it came out on Apple, are you going to choose to play it on fucking Apple?
I'm not a mobile gamer. I wouldn't play. I didn't even buy the Vita. Fuck that piece of shit. I'm not a mobile gamer. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying from my perspective. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what's the difference?
Market, they don't cross over well. They really don't.
No, but that's because
they're a different type of gamers.
But that's because you have piece of shit gaming on the phone. What I'm talking about, what's the difference between playing Metal Gear? Let's say Metal, whatever. What's the difference between playing God of War on the Vita and God of War on the iPhone? Like, for example, if they got God of War 2018 running on an iPhone, if you like the Vita, why wouldn't you play God of War 2018 on an iPhone if you like the Vita? If you enjoy the Vita and you enjoy playing mobile and you like those tiny ass screens, what is it about the iPhone that you wouldn't like playing a new God of War on it? Like, what is it? Like, what's wrong with it? That's why I don't understand because I don't listen. I don't like it. Like listen,
other options. It wouldn't be the only option. That's the thing.
No, but on a mobile device. I'm talking about on a mobile, not on TV. Like, I ain't playing God of War on no goddamn phone or even a tablet. I'm playing on this nice big 50-inch TV I got. I bought a Samsung Q80T. I'm playing it there. I'm talking about if you're a mobile gamer. If you're on a bus, why wouldn't they play God of War on an iPhone? And they're on the bus. They're traveling on the bus. They're on the boat. They're on the plane. Why would they? Oh, I'm not playing God of War on my iPhone. I'll play on the Vita.
I don't see that. There's a very small percentage of that.
Look at it. All right, let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this. Exists yet. Can they get that population out there to expand?
Let me ask you this.
It's so small, bro. It's so small.
Let me ask you this. What's the damn point of the portal? What's the difference?
The portal is a piece of shit that should never be released.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the point of the portal.
The point what I'm talking about, the way I see it, Switch, iPhone is tiny screens. You're on a little tiny bullshit thing this big. Ain't no difference.
No.
It's the same. What's the difference?
You can't call the Switch a tiny screen.
What's the difference? It's a tiny screen.
But listen,
you know what's crazy?
If I could fit you in my wife, if you could fit in my wife's purse, your screen is tiny. All right? Your shit is a tiny ass screen. It's a tiny ass screen. What's the difference? It's a tiny ass screen with buttons, and you're playing a game on it. Right? The reason why the mobile market today is looked down upon because the games they have today is bullshit. It's Candy Crush. It's painting.
You know what?
It's all these one finger games.
One of the main things
is screen is bigger than the Vitas. The iPhone
and another thing is. And another thing with these mobile gamers, man, it's that touchscreen control shit is the biggest abomination I've ever experienced in my life. Like, phones are just not going to be made for like mega AAA experiences.
What do you mean? This thing got AC. This got Assassin's Creed Mirage, and that's gonna be a new game.
It's just not. It's just not going to be it. Let
me ask you something. If
for trying to make it that, because there's a lot of money to be made there if you just get hot with something, but it's just that crowd they really don't care.
My son watched the event and I thought he was joking. He's like, Dad, Mirage is coming out on the phone. I'm like, what?
Listen, I'm not talking about. You're right. If you're those games, my wife's not going to care about those games. But I'm talking about the mobile gamers who do like the Switch, or the mobile gamers that want an actual PlayStation handheld, or the mobile gamers that actually the guys who buy Steam. What you're saying, but the guys who buy Steam Deck.
We're not going to play with no touch controns, my guy.
You could connect the controller to it.
We're not doing it.
We're not
doing it. We're not buying an extra cord to plug in no damn DualSense into a damn phone. Not to do all that shit. It's not
wireless. You don't have to plug no controller.
You can do it wirelessly. You can do it
even if it's wireless.
Bluetooth.
What's the point of doing that if you could just get the damn console? You take
because you have step for what? Because you have two devices. Because you have listen. Let me ask you this. So this is what you want. So this is what you're suggesting. Buy a $2,000 iPhone and then buy a $500 Switch, because it prevents me from buying a $20 controller. That makes no sense. If I can play,
I don't understand why I'm buying a $2,000 iPhone, then buying an extra controller, then buying another HDMI to connect to the TV when I feel like playing on the big screen TV.
No, but that's that's assuming if you want the big TV. If I'm a mobile gamer and all I give a shit about mobile gaming, an iPhone now provides the ability for me to play these non-bullshit games. I can actually play games that are actually worth a fuck. I can play the Resident Evils. I can play the Cyberpunks. I can play Assassin's Creed. I can play actual good games that I actually like for mobile handhelds. I don't need a mobile handheld no more. All I need is my iPhone. You just
said Cyberpunk, so you just said Cyberpunk, man.
I'm just saying, if this device can limit, like if I had an iPhone and a Switch, because I like mobile gaming, or whatever, an Asus ROG or Steam Deck, because I like actual quality mobile gamer, and that iPhone says, hey, you ain't gotta buy those shits no more, because all those games you could play on your Steam Deck or your ROG, you can now play on your phone. So now you only need one device. I'm gonna do it.
Baron, I will say this: what Rock is saying regarding to that one gamer that actually has that Switch, but doesn't want to get a PlayStation 5 or whatever.
That's another one.
That could be an option.
Think about that. Let's say you do like the Switch. Let's say you do like the Switch, but you want
that's going to be such a small percentage of people.
Like for example, let me ask you this:
at the end of the day, you got to.
Can you play Madden on Switch?
Convenience is also an option, and the thing is, stuff have to be simple for people, man.
Let me ask you this: can you play
really ABC for people?
Let me ask you this: can you play Madden on Switch?
Well, technically, no, because they don't release it on Switch.
Exactly. So now, all right, I got my Switch and I got my iPhone. I'm gonna play Madden on my iPhone. What's wrong with that?
Ain't nobody finna play no fucking Madden on no iPhone.
Why not? On a mobile? Why not?
Because there's no way to have a cool Madden experience on a fucking iPhone.
This guy's full of shit. Because I guarantee.
That's the biggest barrier becomes.
What about?
That's going to be a problem.
What about Call of Duty?
Using your regular Xbox controller and using your regular DualSense.
You can do that.
That's why I don't.
I'm not dismissing that. It's the fact that. What's the point?
You already
to put it on my phone.
It's
supposed to be to put it on my phone. It's supposed to be an experience for my phone. If I have to add extra shit to it, then it's not
already have this shit. You already have a fucking Xbox controller. You already got a fucking PS5.
Well, not only that, not even
I already got it. Why am I buying the game on iPhone? That's the point. I'm trying to make.
No. Look at this. For example, look at this. They make backbone controllers for this.
The who?
Look right here. I have it on the screen.
Yeah.
People are doing it now, but then they're doing it. They're doing it now, right? You see what I'm saying? But now you actually get native console quality games, not this cloud streaming bullshit that most people don't give a fuck about. You can actually play natively.
The wireless PlayStation control on an Apple product is pretty damn good. I've actually utilized it. It works. It's pretty seamless.
By the way, Porter Rock, Apple shipped 26.5 million iPhone 14s. Just since the 14 been out for a year.
And that was a year.
This is every single year Apple come out with a new iPhone, right? And they sell damn near 30 million copies every fucking year of every new iteration of phone. So imagine how many people own the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 12, right? Collective. I'm just saying, it's like, don't.
Now,
all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is
this. You're trying to say it from a number standpoint.
All I'm saying is
those 30 million didn't buy iPhone.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
I will say this.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm gonna say this. When you talk about Madden,
go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I see what you're saying on Madden, but if you think about that game, and I'm not saying it will happen, but if you think about that game, think of the people that are tailgaters. Think of the people that are actually outside. That can actually go on
iPhone.
Let me ask you this.
Madden come to iPhone.
But screw that. This guy
Madden's already on mobile. They have a whack ass mobile version of Madden already. So it's not like something new.
You're talking about legit Madden. Hold up. They're putting Call of Duty on the Switch. So what's the difference? Who the fuck wants to play Call of Duty on the Switch? Call of Duty.
Exactly. That's true.
Who really wants to play Call of Duty on the Switch with that? So
you want to play Call of Duty on the Switch?
Yeah, it's a fucking Switch.
Well, hey, we about to find out. We about to find out in 12 months.
But that's the whole. But that's the whole point. The whole point is, if you got an iPhone now with power and performance that gives you an actual quality gaming, why wouldn't mobile gamers who like AAA quality games play on the iPhone?
And you talk about Madden? You got people tailgating before the game.
Let me put it to you. It's this simple because we're going in circles around it because nobody wants to budge on their point. It's going to be this simple. They're going to put these games out, and it's probably going to be maybe a couple thousand people that's going to buy into them, and that's going to be that. And that's going to be the end of it.
I think it's going to blow up.
So it is what it's going to be.
Blow up.
Like, that's
it's
just
like I don't see. I personally, let me put it this way, but you still have an answer.
Very small percentage of people.
What do you mean small percentage
might
people?
Buy into that. I'm not saying they wouldn't, but it's a very small percentage.
Well, what small percent? You telling me there's not a lot of mobile gamers?
Will have access to do that,
and probably 5,000 are actually going to do it.
Wait, but hold up, because so what is it about the iPhone that people are not gonna like? If you're a mobile gamer and you like mobile games, but you don't like the bullshit phone games, we'll call them phone games. Like the Candy Crush. We're talking about actual AAA quality games, like the Resident Evils, things like that. The Witcher 3, Bayonettas, the big games, right? And iPhone's like, you can play those big games. What is it about the iPhone?
You finally came around.
But I'm asking you,
what is a big hit?
Whatever. But what I'm asking you is, what is it about the iPhone that you can't play those games on the iPhone? That's why I don't get. It's about the games, right?
Because first, number one, we know the experience is not going to be the same because obviously it's a phone. It's not a dedicated gaming device. It's not set up that way.
The games are native.
So it's just the experience is going to be different, especially with the touchscreen shit. If you don't have the controller available to you, so that's the number one thing y'all keep bringing up. But you keep bringing up 30 million people, but most of those 30 million people.
Number one,
ain't gonna have a game controller to go with their goddamn phone to play a game. If they want to do that.
So that's the thing. It's wait, hold up. So one,
it's going to be very hard.
Let me put it this way: if the iPhone, hold up,
and make it a big thing.
Here's my question, because you said the experience not going to be the same. If the iPhone 15 is more powerful than the Switch, then how is it not going to have a great experience if it's more powerful than the Switch?
I'm talking about actually playing a game is not the same experience. You act like you never played mobile games before.
Yeah,
playing it is not the same experience.
Just play it with a controller.
Because
they're not mobile games. They're full experiences. Console.
Wait a minute. Is it The Witcher? Hold on. Is it was it The Witcher 3 an actual console PC built game, but then they put it on the Switch?
Yep.
And everybody enjoyed it on the Switch? That was not a mobile built game. That was a game made for consoles and PC. Yeah. They ported it on Switch. Nobody had an issue.
And they put it on another console called the Switch. I don't see what the big deal is.
Switch is a mobile device. Stop playing. It's not a console. Stop playing.
So it's a hybrid console, sir. You can talk all this shit all you want. But y'all just still in denial about that. That's a you problem.
There is no denial. The hardware is mobile tablet hardware.
Listen, it's 2023. We're not going to do this anymore.
There's nothing to argue. There's nothing to argue. It is literally NVIDIA. NVIDIA literally put tablet mobile hardware. They defined it. They called it themselves. It's mobile hardware. It's literally mobile hardware from NVIDIA. It's actually in the name. Mobile hardware. That's what's in the Switch. It is not desktop hardware. It's mobile hardware. The hardware they put in chips is the same shit they put in tablets. How is this hard?
I got you, buddy.
Do you not know what's in? Do you not know what hardware is in the thing? Let's look at the hardware in Nintendo Switch and let's see what NVIDIA calls it.
Oh my God, we really go through this?
Yeah, because you need an education.
Man. You have to really go through this again.
We do need an education.
Why do we have to do this again? Come on, we've been doing this in 2017.
You need an education.
Since 2017,
right
we've been doing this.
Look at this. What is this? NVIDIA custom Tegra processor. What the hell's a Tegra processor? What's a Tegra processor?
It's one thing listening to y'all, but just hearing y'all live.
What's an NVIDIA Tegra processor? Let's see what NVIDIA calls a Tegra processor. Who is it?
What is your point? What is your point you're trying to get?
No. You need to educate. Listen, you've been concussed. You know what I'm saying? This is the roasting of the Baron. You need to get roasted because that's the only way you're gonna learn.
Roasted for what?
You know what I'm saying? You calling it as a console, hybrid console.
Roasted on what though? This is what I'm trying to figure out. You're trying to tell me a hybrid console is not a hybrid console. That's kind of hilarious because that's exactly what it is.
It's a tablet. All right? Stop lying.
It doesn't matter. Like,
and you're Baron, on the side note, that I know it's over. That vid on with the World Cup in Qatar, that had me in tears, bro. I just want to let you know that was funny as hell.
Yeah, I still get messages about that video. People still commented on that video. I don't know why. It's classic,
man. It's classic. When you do something classic, it's funny. It's all good.
No, I mean the guitar people keep commenting on the video.
Oh, for real? I thought you were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
I thought you were people
I'm
in the
talking about
comment
regular
section. Oh,
folks.
damn.
The guitar
Oh,
people keep
snap! I didn't know that.
They ridiculous, man.
Okay, well,
They ain't let off my neck yet.
That aside, I just thought the video was a trip. That was funny. So it's.
Yeah, they ain't got off my neck yet. I'm like, y'all.
But Baron, I see what you're saying. You haven't seen this market take off yet, but I don't know, man. I mean, if they're able to pull this off as Apple, I mean, at the same time, I mean, if you throw that on there and it's native and it's AAA experiences, you have to see, man.
I'm not saying people finna sell their Switches, their Xboxes, or their PS. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is
that's what I'm saying. I understand what y'all are saying. I'm just saying it's never going to take off like that because it's always going to be looked at as a phone first. That's people going to buy it for. So it's like it's the gaming, this native gaming of console games is always going to be a third or even fourth or fifth idea or option in people's minds when they buy a phone. It's never going to be the number one or number two option. That's never going to be it. If that's the case, there will never be another game console ever sold. So I just think y'all expectations are way too high.
No, I think that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people who normally would look at dedicated mobile, like let's say the Switch, because really Switch is really the only dedicated whatever, because everything else is like cloud gaming. But now people who just bought a Nintendo Switch just because they wanted a mobile device, the iPhone 15 could just be, you know what? I don't need a Switch or a Switch 2. iPhone 15 gives me the quality gaming that I want, and I'm gonna have the phone anyway. So now I ain't gotta carry around two things. Okay. I'm good with the 15. Boom.
But do you think that's actually the thought process of an actual consumer?
If they learn about what the phone does and it has the capability and the games are good, yes. Why wouldn't they? Of
course they're gonna learn because Apple is gonna make sure people know. Yeah, they're gonna make sure people know.
Let's say you walk in.
Is that something that consumers are actually gonna do though?
Why not? You walk in iPhone.
Really
let's say you walk in iPhone.
Yes, gonna do that.
Yes. If I was a mobile gamer,
at some point,
listen.
No, hold on. We need to go ahead and just mark this down. At some point in the near future, a game should technically outsell the Switch, a Switch 2 game or whatever the console is going to be called on iPhone. If that's the case, right?
If it's multi-plat, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, of course it has to be multi-plat. Yeah, I'm talking about if it's available from both consoles.
Let me ask you this. What if?
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think the better available for the Switch 2 and an iPhone.
I think the better metric. I think
don't think that was ever going to happen.
I think the better metric is over time, because Switch sells 100 million. Now all of a sudden Switch is not selling 100 million. Let's say it sells 80 million. People are going to ask, where did the Switch gamers go? People be like, hey, I stopped buying a Switch or Nintendo Switch Mobile because I buy the iPhone anyway and I play all my gaming there now. I think that's a better metric, but that's going to take time to see. Because again, unless it's for Nintendo first party, let's say I don't give a shit about Nintendo first party, but I love mobile gaming. I do love mobile gaming. Let's say I prefer it over console gaming, or generally I need a mobile device because I like to travel, whatever. And then I go to iPhone store. I try to get the i15 Pro, and they tell me, hey, you can play console quiet games. I'm like, let me check it out. I'm like, oh shit, this is really cool. Yo, this shit's actually smooth. Yo, I could fuck with this. You know what? This is what I'm gonna rock with. I don't need nothing else. I'm good. Over time, that's the way you play games. You got your mobile game device. You're playing your AAA games. You're good. That could eat away from Nintendo's thing. It's not gonna end them, right? But it could reduce their population from like 115 million to like 90 million, or 95 million, whatever. And people will wonder how come Nintendo's not breaking those 120 million. People are playing Grand Theft Auto. They're playing Madden. They're playing 2K. They're playing Call of Duty. They're playing Assassin's Creed. They're playing, Far Cry. They're playing all the games that would normally need another device to get that level of gaming. They found it on an iPhone, which is a device they would have owned anyway. They were going to own it anyway. So now it's just easy for them now. They just got it now. Yep. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just going to tell you right now. it's not going to happen.
Baron is another Android.
I'm just letting you know it's not going to happen.
Now,
Just
people,
being honest.
now, hold on.
I think Puerto Rock he's overestimating a little bit.
I don't think it's overestimating.
I'm not saying that nobody won't buy in. It's going to be a very, very small percentage. I mean, very small percentage of people will buy into that. People, and plus, I think it's also a novelty thing with people buying game consoles at this point. So I don't think that's ever going to change anytime soon. Over the next 2 or 3 decades, I don't see that even changing.
We'll see, my man.
Unless we can start downloading games into our brain directly in the next 30 years, I don't think that's ever going to change. So.
Well, one thing I will tell you, I will tell you, a phone is a must-have item versus a console, and I think we are underestimating the next 10 years. I'm saying that again. I never said once that people are going to start selling their Switches and PlayStations and Xbox. I didn't say that. But what I'm saying is, if the capability of something that you keep in your pocket anyway is of a caliber where I can play full console experience games, imagine the next 10 years, right? What will be 10 years from now when it comes to this phone, right? I'm just saying.
Well, if that's the case, your argument should be against it, because the first people that's going to suffer is Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo has so many IPs, they'll be fine. The first people that's going to suffer is Xbox and PlayStation. So it's like, why would you even want that to happen?
Here's the thing. No, actually, Nintendo would be the first person, because even though Nintendo got first-party IPs, Sony has first-party IPs as well.
You got to listen to the games they're bringing to the iPhone. Those are the direct games that are already directly associated with Xbox and PlayStation. So how's Nintendo going to suffer first?
Because there's more third-party games than first-party, clearly, right? Not every. I'm just saying, Nintendo got what 10 goddamn first-party games, and then they got iterations of.
They got way more.
There's only fucking Mario and Zelda, right? And then Pokemon.
You need to quit.
And then there's iterations. I mean, literally, it is.
You need to quit it, bro.
Iterations of those games, right? Even Smash Brothers. It's just an iteration of the regular shit that they already have. Nintendo don't have many IPs. They just have the.
Oh my god!
They have a handful of IPs, and then they just stretch them shits with a tennis version, a soccer version. It is what it is.
Why are you tricking right now? What's going on?
I'm not lying. It's the same shit.
You are lying. You lying.
Mario, Zelda, and Donkey Kong. That's about it, right? That's 3 IPs.
No, that's not. That's 50 not
different iterations.
I heard this same. I heard this same argument where you said Halo, Gears, and Forza. I heard this same bullshit before.
It is.
I mean, you need to quit it, man. I'm just saying they got way more franchises than 10 franchises.
Like, I mean,
I'm just saying, man. It's a pipe dream. I'm just being.
I agree with Puerto Rock. I believe this has the potential to put the death blow to the whole cloud gaming shit, right? It's the death blow. Native will always be a death blow to that. A phone is something everybody have. I just told you, every fucking year, 30 million people buy a new fucking iPhone. And that's not going to stop anytime soon, right? So imagine the iPhone 16, the iPhone 17. Every fucking year these guys come out with a goddamn phone and everybody buy them. 30 million every single time. I can't say what's going to happen in the next 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. And for Nintendo to sit around and say, well, we got first party IP and we got mobile. It's like, those disruptors come in, like Sean Layden said, disruptors come in, and just like BlackBerry sitting at the king of the hill till the goddamn iPhone came, and overnight the motherfuckers went out of business, all within 1 year.
True, but
say never.
You looking at it through tunnel vision. Let's just say hypothetically, if hell freezes over and you somewhat correct, so what you think is going to happen if third-party games start selling more on an iPhone than consoles? What you think? I have
an iPhone. I'm an iPhone user. It is what it is.
I'm just asking you what you think. What do you think is going to happen when third-party start selling more games on iPhones than actually dedicated consoles?
They're literally going to start catering to the phone and less to the console.
Oh, exactly. and who's going to suffer the first?
Listen,
Okay.
one thing about me, Barry,
I'm just saying,
PlayStation, I rep
gonna say this.
because
I'm gonna say this.
Games. They got the best games. But I'm going wherever the fucking goddamn games are. And if the games go there, that's where the fuck I'm at.
I know that's a lie. That's a lie from hell right there.
It is what
you going
it
where the
is.
games are. You going where that Sony logo's going, motherfucker. Stop lying.
So I'm gonna say this.
January, I'll be getting my Apple Vision Pro, right? I'll be
You
playing
going
games in my
What he say, Baron? Where he going, Baron? Where he going?
So I'm gonna say this. So the advantage dedicated consoles is the phone's not gonna keep up with an actual console like the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. Because like for example, Assassin's Creed Mirage, there's a PS4 and Xbox One version. So those are the version the iPhone 15 is probably most likely gonna play. It's probably gonna play. It's probably as powerful as a PS4. It's probably playing PS4, Xbox One games. It's not playing native PS5, Xbox Series X games. It's so like Starfield's not gonna play Starfield. It's not gonna play all the next generation games. It's playing games that came out last gen. So that's why I would say mobile device will probably never be able to compete with consoles because consoles will always be generationally ahead of phones. Because there's no way you're gonna actually create something as powerful as a PS5 in a mobile device. That's just not gonna happen.
I don't know. J-Dub said we don't know where we're gonna be in 5 to 10 years, boy. We might have a phone that just, we say phone on and that shit might pop up and appear in our
for $10,000.
That's what we're saying right now.
What I'm saying is, think about it. Where we are right now in gaming, we're 3 years into this generation. We
We are?
Right?
I don't know about that one.
We are.
Well,
these
this
first
generation
years
started in
don't count.
2020.
These first 2 years don't count.
No, it came out in 2020, dog.
What I'm saying is,
it don't count for him because he likes Xbox, and his console came out in 2017. So he's still stuck in last gen.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, don't get mad because Nintendo is sticking true to that 10-year lifespan.
Oh man, that's not a good thing. They
said this shit was gonna last 10 years, and goddamn it, they ain't lying.
Hey, Rock, I gotta dip. I gotta dip out.
All right,
minutes, man.
yo, Jimmy, man,
Right,
thank you so much for coming through, brother, man. You're welcome here all the time, bro.
That's all good. I appreciate you bringing me on, man. And shout out to you, brothers. Much love to the chat and all of y'all.
Thank you.
Same to you. Is Assassin's Creed Mirage? Is it a cross-gen game or next
gen?
Yeah,
it's a cross-gen. It's on Xbox One. On Xbox One, so you know it's bad.
Okay.
It's really cross-gen. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now.
I'm gonna wait for Game Pass for that. I'm a Game Pass.
I did not know that was a cross-gen game.
No, because when Baron said, what happens when iPhone games outsell console games? I'm thinking, wait a minute, are they getting PS5, Xbox Series X? So I'm looking at it right now. I'll put it on the screen. I'm looking at it right now. It says it.
I thought that was
no.
Oh, wow.
Y'all really thought Ubisoft wasn't gonna pull an okie doke?
Yeah, that shit. It says right there, Xbox One and PS4.
I'll be done.
Everybody's pissed. They're like, fuck. He said, I'm game passing that shit. Yo, shout out to Blue Jay. He says, came in late, but I want to still show support. Yo, I hope we'll still bring in the entertainment, man. Baron always comes up and is delusional. I don't know about these Switch sexual deviants, but they're weird as hell, bro. These dudes.
I guess I thought for that particular game they would move forward because of what they can do with the size, but I guess not.
Nope. It's cross-gen as a motherfucker.
That's why I said next gen ain't really started until now.
Wait, hold on. I just
it ain't really started.
Wait, hold on. Assassin's Creed Mirage, hold up. I just realized something. Assassin's Creed Mirage, you're telling me, is it on the Switch?
They probably port a shitty version of that.
It's not on the Switch.
No, that I don't think that one is.
I did a week. It says PlayStation 4, 5, Windows, Xbox One.
That's just coming to iPhone 15, but not the Switch. It's too weak.
Yeah. Shit.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that ain't surprising.
I'm pretty sure that's not the reason.
Yeah.
Carry on.
They said the Switch is not powerful enough. They said the Switch, that Tegra chip ain't cutting it. Oh man,
it's crazy. It's coming to OG Xbox One. God damn, with the Kinect.
Shit. The Kinect.
That's just coming with Connect. That's just coming in with Connect features.
The PS Move never existed.
Oh, that shit. That's just coming with. That's just coming with Connect features, and that's just not on the Switch.
Nintendo Cardboard didn't exist.
Oh shit! They got Play Lab. They got what's it, Labo. $200 VR headsets made of cardboard.
Baron jumped in the ring. He came out to that Zelda theme music with that cardboard on his backpack.
Listen, there's nothing you can say that can top that dildo disco stick that was PS Move.
That dude came in with the Zelda. He came in down the ring with the Zelda theme. Oh shit! Man. The 8-bit version, not even the latest one. That shit came with the NES version. Oh shit! Now I'm playing that shit. Y'all started that shit. What do you think the Wii was?
Exactly.
Right? Y'all started that stick. Y'all started that bullshit. What was his name? Chad Warden. He told us, I ain't playing with no dildo.
Oh, man, that's a classic right there.
That's a classic. Chad Warden, man. Chad Daddy. Oh, them days. I'm telling you, that was YouTube at its finest, the golden era. But anyway, man.
I wonder if his video is still up. I got to go watch that now that you done said it.
Yo, he's like a... I don't know. He does something like he works for like a non-profit organization. Like he does something like to help people out and shit. He's trying to help all you Nintendo sexual deviants live a better life. Anyway, hey, man, it's time to wrap up the show. Emperor, my brother, have you been seeing the games PS5 is about to come out next year? You gonna play Stellar Yams?
I'm still waiting on that list.
I'm telling you, you're playing Stellar Yams. I'm telling you, Stellar Blade. That's all you need to know. Stellar Blade. Do not come and say you like Bayonetta, but you ain't trying to play Stellar Blade. I'm not trying to hear that bullshit.
I didn't even say nothing yet.
All right, I'm just okay. So go see it. Go see it. Go type it in Google. Stellar Blade. Type it in Google. Google it.
Seen it, but since it ain't coming on the Switch or the Xbox, he don't care.
Oh shit!
Listen, I ain't seen the game, so.
Oh shit! Listen, man, you got.
I haven't heard nobody talk about it or anything. I haven't seen it.
I don't know why you bought an Xbox. Playing with them whack ass games, bro. I don't even know why you did it to yourself.
Hey man, look. You just mad because that Forza coming out.
I don't play racing games.
Just a few weeks, so
I don't play that racing game bullshit.
That Starfield just came out. That masterpiece. So it's like,
shit, bro. This is what I don't understand. How you
out on PlayStation in 2024?
I don't know how you go from being a Nintendo dude that actually has Game of the Year quality level titles. I told you, and then like Xbox. That shit don't make no sense. You would think out of anybody that realizes Xbox is trash is Nintendo guys.
You always been.
I'm not.
This guy,
I'm not a PlayStation hater.
Ain't no way.
I've owned all their consoles except one, which is the PS5. So I'm not a PlayStation hater.
Ain't no way you could cap for Xbox being a Nintendo guy.
I'm not capping.
Ain't no way. It's just not possible.
I want all their consoles except the PS5, and I'm still waiting on that 2024 lineup, so I can go ahead and get it.
Listen, Stellar Blade.
It is what it is.
Stellar Blade. All right, don't be a punk. Anyway, shout yourselves out. Give yourselves those outros.
Man, y'all already know who the hell we are, man. Come on, man. Come on, y'all know who the hell we is.
The antagonizer.
And G-Dub. Yeah, you already know who we are.
It's out the bullshit.
We've been arguing on this motherfucker for 10 years. They know who the hell we are.
Hey, listen, I want everybody to remember this podcast.
And Xbox still hasn't won a GOTY.
I want everybody to remember this day because I think in the next 6 months I'm still gonna be asking, "Where's these damn PlayStation 5 games for 2020?"
I'm telling them Stellar Blade. He ignoring me. You know what? You going Bird Box?
I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to look up that one.
Yeah, you lying. And Final Fantasy. And Final Fantasy 7 coming out in March.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I know y'all trying to cap for your favorite company, but it's unacceptable.
I just gave you Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 is not acceptable. I just gave you 2.
No, listen. I done seen y'all hype up this new State of Play that's supposed to be coming out, so don't act like you ain't worried.
I'm not hyping that out.
Like I am.
Listen, I'm not hyping it up. They can't even spell. They can't even spell State of Play right. They call it State of Play. I ain't listening to that bullshit. Say to play.
Stop playing, man. Y'all know y'all waiting on that State of Play to drop. Y'all know y'all waiting on it. So stop playing.
And you listen when the next Treehouse comes. Oh shit. Yo, when the next Bang Bros tournament happening?
Yeah.
The next Nintendo Direct is supposed to be.
When's the next Super Smash Bros tournament?
Yeah.
Keep them. Gotta warn all my net. Oh shit. You know, gotta call Chris Hansen. Shit's looking spooky. Shit looking spooky in the Super Smash Bros tournament.
All I know is that Microsoft shouldn't have more games announced than Sony at this point.
That's how? All the games they announced was from 2020. They haven't released shit.
They should have had more games announced than the almighty fucking PlayStation.
Bro, when you don't release games for 3 years, you're gonna have a lot of announcements, bro. Them motherfuckers, they re-showed 2020's lineup. Hey, we got Fable. You showed us that shit 4 years ago. Like, what is you talking about? Anyway, hey
man, listen, I don't want to hear shit about that. Listen. I'm still waiting on Agent from PS3. They ain't never released that goddamn game. So don't even start with me on that.
Rockstar's not releasing anything.
It'll release before Metroid.
So you don't be talking about people announcing games and never delivering, because Agent was one of those games y'all used to hype up.
That's Rockstar. So talk to Rockstar.
It was exclusively for PlayStation.
But they're the ones making it. But then they make Grand Theft.
And it never seen the light of day.
But then they make Grand Theft Auto 5, and they're like, "Fuck this, we're not making nothing else." Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto. That's it. That's how they are now. But anyway, hey, this is the only friends use YouTube Streets Puerto77. I hope you enjoyed the show, the fuckery, the good times. We're the Catch You players next week. No podcast next week. I'll be on the road next week. Damn. I'll drop some videos, but no podcast next week. But I'll drop some videos on the channel and stuff like that, you know. And I'm gonna just end the show with saying Baron shook at iPhone 15. The true mobile powerhouse is coming.
Facts.